Okay, I am live. Oh, let me put my ears in. Give me a moment. Give me a moment, then we'll get that background music going. Looks like we already have two people who joined us, Pleasing and Dermont. Okay, let me send that link to everyone on the Discord. And let's get my music started. Make sure it doesn't get too loud. And let's start it. There we go. You should be able to hear the gentle background music going on now. I hope everyone's had a great day. I've had a very good day. It's been, I don't know how to describe it. Just fun. Not productive, but fun. What was I doing today? I was watching... Oh, actually, before I get to that, let me make sure everyone knows what I'm doing in this stream. This is an office hour stream. So the reason I'm doing... I said I would do it last week. This week I'm going to do two of these streams. One today, which is Thursday. And then probably one on Friday. Maybe one on Saturday. Here's what's going on. People are buying tablets. I know from my statistics on my website, October is when people start looking about buying drawing tablets. I know that because my buying guide spikes in October and November, of course, right? So the plan is every week, at least twice, I'm going to do a live stream, office hours for buying things. This is in addition to any other live streams. Hey, Charlie Martian, good to see you. Good to see you. So I'm good. This is my first one of the week. I meant to do it earlier, just got a little bit wrapped up in some things. And then I'll do again another one maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday. So I might even do 3 this week. Because there's so many questions that people are having. And sometimes it's just better to stream and get the answers out there, right? Again, this is in addition to any other streams I have, like Tablets and Chill, etc. Though, in a sense, this is kind of a Tablets and Chill stream, but I want to make sure we're addressing people's buying questions. But we will cover what we normally cover in my streams, right? We'll take a look at a few things. There is some news in the digital art world to talk about. That's the Affinity announcement or release. Yeah, there are lots of great discounts. Maybe we should actually take a look at... let me put that in my show notes. Thank you so much for mentioning that, Dermon, because that is definitely a good topic for us to see what's discounted. And I can begin my, my recommendation. Yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't we start it off by talking about what I'm going to recommend. So let me just get my OneNote ready. There was an outage in Microsoft yesterday or today, just before the earnings announcement. And OneNote was not making me happy, let me tell you that. Let's see. Yeah, we have some news. We'll do some news today, okay? So what is the date today? This is 2025, 10/30. Oh, tomorrow's Halloween. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, so let me just write down Dermon's comment here. Let's look at discounts, right? Because there are some good discounts. And then let's take, well, of course, we'll make a list of we'll revise my recommendations, okay? Or revisit my recommendations. Yeah, Charlie, you're right. I should do it in each episode because people will not catch every episode, and it's good for me to remind people. And there could be more things shipping, right? Okay, so it's a chill out stream. I will be taking a small break in the stream because I ordered some food. So something like 6:30 maybe. I'll just be away for like 10 minutes, and I'll eat some food and come back. I learned my lesson. Don't eat on camera. People hate that, or some people really hate it, and some people really hate the sound of food, or they don't seem to mind if I take a drink of water. But I got so much hate for that, so I've learned my lesson. Don't eat anything on stream. Okay, so what do we want to talk about? I think I have my show notes, which I'm going to show you in a second. We'll talk about everything. How do I show you my show notes? I think this is it. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So, this is about buying. So let me just label these so that I can organize these a little bit. For buying, we'll do that. We've got a lot of moving pad talk. So there's that. And moving pad. It's a moving pad pro is what I want to talk about. We'll talk about Expressi a little bit. I don't mind if it's good and you share what it is, food and drink. Maybe you'll get it. Maybe. It's from a restaurant nearby. I Uber Eated it. Or I ordered it on Uber Eats called Woodblock in downtown Redmond, Washington. Moving pad. Okay. So let me just do my first thing, which is let's cover my update. Okay, so I'm speaking about the Moving Pad Pro 14. So let me change how this looks here. Actually, tonight I'm going to revise how the video works, so it'll be easier for me to put my face on when I have content. Uber, please sponsor. Yes. Okay, so here's the deal. I have a Moving Pad 11 and I have a Moving Pad Pro 14. Since I got the Moving Pad 14, I haven't touched the 11, except when I need to demonstrate something for you on stream. Okay, so that's a good sign. The short answer is I am absolutely in love with the Moving Pad Pro. Absolutely. Okay? And I'm drawing on it with Clip Studio Paint. I'm using my subscription so I've activated my subscription on the Moving Pad Pro. So I'm using the full version of Clip Studio Paint. Really liking it. I do want to tell you, and Charlie and I actually talked about this a little bit earlier. I think it's better, even though the Moving Pad Pro is more powerful than the Moving Pad, I think it's better for you to treat it like a specialized device for sketching and drawing rather than a generic Android tablet, okay? Because I think a generic Android tablet or other kinds of tablets will be more powerful and they'll serve the needs. It's better if you just treat this like something for drawing, okay? That's how I treat it. But I'm loving it. And, last year, I think in December, I did a was it December or January? I did a Drawing Tablet Award show. And so I'm planning out that show for this year. But I can tell you up front right now that this is Wacom's year. They've had a lot of releases. The Intuos Pro series, the new Cintiqs, and now the Moving Pad and Moving Pad Pro. So they've had a busy year. And I honestly think this is, if I had to just all up say which brand impressed me the most, it's Wacom this year for all sorts of reasons. I do like the new Intuos Pro 2025 edition. I do like the new Cintiq 2025 models. And I'm absolutely in love with the MovingPad Pro. And right now, I would say my tablet of the year would go to the MovingPad Pro. It's in the running. Well, it's not only in the running. It is. It's like the top contender. So Rain, thank you for joining us, Rain. Even in bed, did I try 120 hertz? I did not try 120 hertz yet, Rain. But to answer your first question, yes, I drew with it in bed, and strangely, it worked for me. Right, it is big. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bit much to deal with when you're just inches away from the screen, but it worked well for me, especially with the full version of Clip Studio Paint. So I'm super happy. Okay, that's the first thing I just want to say. I'm loving it. Okay. Now the next thing is there's some feedback. And this was actually a comment from Edinburgh. I think he actually attends some of my streams. So I actually, he left this comment on my YouTube video. So this isn't like a secret chat we had. So I screenshotted it and I wanted to, Pleasing says, too bad MovingPad is not available in your country. Pleasing, which country are you in? Because I know it is not there. Oh, it's Tio's here. Tio says, I'm surprised that MovingPad Pro 14 is really well priced to compete with iPad Pro 13, Samsung Galaxy Ultra. Yeah, Tio, you raised a really interesting point here, which is, I really expected the price to be crazy, right? I was shocked that the MovingPad was like, what, $425. And I was even more shocked that the MovingPad Pro was $900. 100%. I expected it to be above $1,000. When we first discovered its existence, I personally was thinking it was going to cost, given that it's Wacom, about $1,500, maybe even more. Really, I really did think that. So see it under $1,000, and for what you get, I think it's remarkable. So I think we see this also in the new Cintiqs that came out in 2025. They're actually very well priced. I mean, they're not cheap. They still cost more than the equivalent Huion or XP Pen device. But I think since they're only like in the range of a couple of $100 more expensive, that a lot of people will just get the new Wacoms, right? This new Cintiqs. Pleasing's in Indonesia. Okay. I think we have a lot of people from Indonesia in the Discord, if I'm not mistaken. It's funny how we sort of collect people from different nations on the Discord. Let's see. Rain says, does it have a lot more texture or just a subtle amount compared to the MovingPad 11? I had to order from B&H because it's not available. It has more texture. And I think it's easy to see that it has a bit more texture. I wouldn't say it's subtly more. I think it is noticeably more. But it's not like, an Intuos Pro feeling. Like no pen tablet, no pen thing with the display is like that. But definitely notice it. And especially if you use the, I forgot which name it is, the all black nib, then you'll definitely feel the texture. Let's see. Kairos, Aidan, I'm looking for a new tablet. Pleasing, two Indos on the Discord. And Karis, you're from there too, is that right, Kairos? Let's see. Teo says 11-inch MovingPad is pricey compared to Samsung Tab S10 FE. The S10 FE I think has more power. Like its processor is more powerful, I think. I didn't realize it cost less than the MovingPad. Honestly, that's interesting. But the 14-inch is $500 lower than the iPad Pro 13 with Apple Pencil Pro. Wow, that says something. Well, I'm all here for it. I love to see that Wacom is being a little more competitive on price. I'm very shocked. Oh, sorry, Kairos, maybe I misunderstood when you said am with the caret. I thought you were saying you're also from Indonesia. But it seems like you're looking for a new tablet. Tell us what you're looking for, and tell us your budget, and we'll help you. Trust me, we can. With who's on the stream now, we can definitely help you. And while we're waiting for that, I just want to show you the feedback from Edinburgh. Give me a second. Here we go. So this is, again, a public comment he posted on one of my videos. What we need is one of these three. A MovingPad Pro with DisplayPort in. I agree. I don't know why Wacom has gone with their streaming thing, which you saw me struggle to set up. But yeah, we just need DPN, right? MovingPad Pro with the texture, he wants the Movink, not the pad, the Movink. I think he's hypothesizing or imagining a kind of Movink Pro with the texture of the MovingPad Pro. Yes, I'd absolutely agree with that. The Movink, which is not a standalone tablet, it's a pen display, it feels different. And it gets scratched easier, by the way. I've scratched it already. I think what I'm scratching is some sort of anti-reflective coating, not the glass, but like, it doesn't matter because like, it might as well be the glass because it's not like you can fix it, right? So I agree with that. The Movink, there should be a version of the Movink, maybe a 16-inch, that has that better drawing surface. I like it. And then Edinburgh says, a MovingPad Pro with Windows ARM instead of Android. Now, this was an interesting comment, actually. I'm not sure about Windows ARM. Sorry, let me break it apart. ARM is fine, right? ARM is fine. I'm not sure how Windows will hold up as a drawing pad, for OS for a drawing pad. And I say this as someone who worked on Windows. You need to remember that. I worked on Windows, so I have a little bit of, I'm a little invested in this. Let's see, Tia says, in Singapore, MovingPad Pro is almost half the price, wow, of M5 iPad Pro 13. That is a big, big jump. Let's see, Kairos, you're looking, if I understand you correctly, you're looking at these three choices, the MovingPad 14 or MovingPad Pro 14. Or do you mean Movink? You gotta tell me which one, because I don't know if it's the pad or not, because it's the Movink 13 and the MovingPad 14. Artist Ultra 16 and Huion Pro 19. We changed names here. It's no longer Skitsy. It's now Ascot has joined us. That's a single rainbow Skittle. If I mess up and say Skitsy, just tell me and I'll say the right name. Okay? Ascot. Let's see. Yeah, Art of Sketch, yes. They are, thankfully, feeling some pressure. I was really scared when we got the Cintiq Pros back in 2022 and 2023. They were like crazy expensive. They still are. But I thought that was going to set a bad precedent for us. Ben Boykmas, long time no see everyone. Finally, a morning where I can remote work after working overtime. Oh, wow. That's a lot of extra work. Moving 24 when? Yeah. Everyone wants a Moving 16, by the way. Microsoft Surface is now a great tablet. They just need improved pen performance. I got the ARM-based Surface Laptop 7. I'm thinking about getting the Surface Pro. But yeah, if they can just make the pen work better, we're fine. And, the reason I have always been given, not that I talked to anyone on the Surface team, but the reason I've always... Oops, I messed up something here. A second. Where am I? Okay, everyone can still see me. I think I turned off the background music. Okay. Sorry, I clicked a button here. The reason I'm always skeptical about that answer, the answer they gave me was, they have to keep the surface really thin, so they switch to whatever digitizer, N-Trig. But like this Movink is like super thin too. Like, what's the deal? I feel like if this is the moving pad is thin, the Samsung tablets are thin, there's no reason stopping EMR on the Surface. Kairos, the standalone one? Okay, yeah. It's tough because, as I was talking to Charlie today, I said, I think the perfect thing to have is a drawing tablet like a Huion Canvas Pro 19, or let's just keep the brands the same, as Cintiq 24, and a moving pad. Because they both offer advantages and disadvantages. But I think that, and this goes to a topic we talked about yesterday on the Discord, which is what should a professional pick? And maybe we can talk about that in this stream. Let's see. Yes. Okay, I did remember correctly. There we go. There we go. Ascot. So everyone, want to make sure everyone knows, a single Rainbow Skittle 5707 is now Ascot. A-S-K-O-T. And I'm just going to ask, Ascot, is the K-O-T like Polish K-O-T, like cat? I'm just curious. Let's see. Pluzzing says, when it comes to getting a Surf standalone tablet, my choice... I'm holding my moving... I'm hugging it. When it comes to getting a standalone tablet, my choice is still an iPad, mostly because the app like Procreate and some PC apps that are... Yeah, apps will drive a lot of this. Absolutely, Pluzzing. I get it. Cami Luna, thanks for joining us. Hey, everyone. I love Cami Luna's PFP. I forgot which character this is, but it's just so cutely drawn. I love it. What are you cooking, Cami Luna? What are you using on Android, Pluzzing? Okay, while we're at this topic about these different tablets, I want to show you something because this was a discussion. Let me find the... I put my face on while I'm finding things. This was something yesterday that we had in our Discord. Let's see. Actually, the name was an acronym. That's VTuber lore. Not sure if I get it. Okay, no worries. No worries, man. I didn't want to necessarily make you talk about something you didn't want to talk about. But for pen display, I honestly think the Canvas Pro 19 is the better choice. Honestly, it's bigger screen. Having said that, I think the Artist Ultra 16 is very good too, but I think the Canvas Pro has in my mind, a bit of an edge, right? Let's see, Pluzzing. I'm still not used to Ibis Paint and Medibang Mobile. Okay, I've rarely used Medibang. I'm testing test cooking, gluten-free Puerto Rican cod fritters. Okay, I understand that. Yeah, that's right. We're reading. We're talking about it, and I said I agreed with your points, but I think there was one. Let's put it back on stream. We were talking about this, your last comment about Windows ARM instead of Android. And, Windows is heavy. Windows is heavy. There's just a lot going on in Windows. And it has always been a fantasy of Microsoft to have Windows run in these very, very mobile devices. And ARM, I guess, brings us, I always say us because I still consider myself part of Microsoft. It brings us closer to that. And so that's good, but also Windows has a lot of stuff going on, right? And as we were talking about it on the Discord, I could kind of see in the future that our need for Windows will really diminish. And so I'm really excited by things like Android and Chrome OS coming together to give us a lighter weight experience, right? I don't know, just a thought. Obviously I love Windows. In the tablet mode, I use it less. Does that make sense? Let's see, Francisco. Oh, I read that totally wrong. Francisco. Hi. Preferred size? Oh, so this varies with a lot of people, Francisco. For me, it is 22 inches is my ideal. 19 feels a little small for me. 16 I can tolerate. But for other people, Brad Colbo, for example, he has said many times that for a pen display, he likes 16 inches, which surprises me. I like it a little bit bigger. But I'm curious what other people think. So maybe everyone can just put in the chat what size you like. Because I'm curious what other people would like for a pen display instead of what I just think. Let's see, RF Sketch. Recently got an iPad. I'm loving it, but I do find the pressure interesting. Yeah, I kind of like the Apple Pencil, but I prefer the way a drawing tablet actually works. Thanks for leaving it, Edinburgh. When I see interesting comments that I should address, I will try to screenshot them and talk about them here. Let's see, Cami. Oh, you raised a good point, Cami Luna. So Cami Luna says likes 16 to 19 for working at home and 12 for travel. Yeah, you don't want. I think 16 is way too big for traveling, right? Why do you like the? Okay. I'm glad you asked. I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to send you a link, Kairos. These are my notes on the Canvas Pro 19. Hang on a second. Take a look at that. So I think it should be very clear, okay? And there's a video there as well. But to just summarize it, it's a strong tablet. The pen is great. The screen's good. The only negative is it has a slight softness to the image, but it's not blurry. I don't like to use that word, but it's just slightly soft, which you may notice. If you like super crisp pixels, it may not be the right thing. Touch doesn't work on Mac. It seemed to work well for me on Windows. Potatoes. Anyone know, are eBay refurbished displays reliable? I don't know. If you're going to buy something like that on eBay that was refurbished, Wacom, Huion, XP Pen actually have stores on eBay where they themselves refurbish, I think, some of their models. So I guess you'd have a warranty if you bought it that way from them. So check that, because that at least will give you some peace of mind that there's maybe a warranty. Okay. Let's see. Pluzzing says, well, I don't have a pen display, but for around 12 to 16. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Dermont says 12 is too small for animation. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, you got to have the UI up there, right? I like my palettes on the left and right. RF says, I have much strong space. I don't have much strong space, so I've been working on Intuos medium size and moving 13. Jerry, thanks for joining us. Talking about tablet sizes, I think it'd be great to have a tutorial to increase the bezels. You mean like a mod to do that? Yeah, a lot of people do not like the new Intuos Pro bezel size. Okay, before I forget, let me find that comment from yesterday, I think, which is from me. I'll show it to you. Oh, come on. From 7 Pens, and I want the word professional. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I've jumped to it. Okay, I'm going to copy this text and I'm going to paste it in the show notes. Okay, so give me a second. Let me increase the size of this. I love that we actually get a chance to talk like this, honestly. If I could figure out how to expand. Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay. So let me add a new page here. So I know you can't see what I was doing, but I wanted to talk about this comment. Someone yesterday on the Discord asked, we were talking about getting a standalone drawing tablet or like an actual pen display, right? Like that you plug into a computer. And I wanted to share some writings. Let's see. Kairos. Okay. Remember, I have a page. I always say I have a page for everything, okay? So if you want a recommendation for a beginner, I actually have a page, Kairos, and I'm going to put it in chat. This is my beginner recommendations. Okay? Feel free to ask about them. And there's lots of choices that are, at good price points, by the way. So, yeah, let me bring up the window here. I want to talk about this. And I want your opinions. I want your thoughts as well. Let me increase the size a little bit. Okay. So, the question was, let me just sort of, the question was really standalone mobile device versus like a pen display, right? That you connect to your computer. And standalone could have included iPad as well, okay? So, my answer, I answered pretty quickly. I just said, well, I told this person, hey, you should probably go get the pen display that connects to your computer. Hi, BitMajo. Thank you for stopping by. Let's see. Ascot says PC, probably biased by hate mobile and subscriptions. Okay. So let's just do this. Okay. Here's my thinking. Remember, I want your feedback. I said, the first question for me was, I don't want to say that professionals have to go in either direction. Okay? Because I think when I first gave the answer, it may have given that sense. So I said professional level things, whatever you want to call professional level things, can be done on either. They can certainly be done with a pen display that connects to a computer, and they can certainly be done with a mobile device. Okay, it is possible, right? And second, just to bolster that point, absolutely some professionals, meaning people whose job it is to draw or design, use mobile devices instead of their PCs. Okay, so there are professionals. Again, I'm defining professional as someone whose job it is, either by themselves or in a design studio, to draw, with a digital pen. Some of them use iPads, some of them use Samsung, right? I don't know how many, but definitely you'll find artists that use iPads, right? There's totally fine. So my point is that there's not like a inherent limitation to those kinds of devices, okay? So I want to make sure I don't, but here's why I recommended a PC, or a tablet goes to a PC. And it said, and again, notice that I said, based on what I observe, right? When you go down a PC route, it gives you access to a wider ecosystem, okay? And I mean hardware. So for example, you get higher end GPUs, high-end CPUs and high-end GPUs. You get upgradability, and you get lots of applications that people have to use in professional settings, right? And the thing I'd say is these advantages I'm pointing out some of these things are what I call point-in-time advantages, meaning they're true right now. Some of these advantages, over time, it can evolve. And I gave an example, which is for a long time, no mobile devices really, or there are very few mobile devices that you would like using, had EMR pens. And EMR pens are the technology that we use in drawing tablets, right? And so the drawing experience was substandard. But now we have devices. We have the Samsung Galaxy Tabs. We have the Moving Pad. So that's changed, right? Okay. And then another thing that may change in the future is but is currently a difference. Some applications, their full version instead of a light version, are PC only or desktop only. Photoshop's the best example. How many people have to use Photoshop and they can't use some light version? They have to use the full version. So if you need that world, you got to go get a PC. You're not going to be able to do your work on an iPad, right? So that's why I said PC would be my standard answer. Get a PC with a pen display or a pen tablet rather than a mobile device, right? But I totally recognize that lots of people do not use PCs. They prefer the mobile devices, right? I get it. And they don't find any limitations. And finally, I said, I think the situation is going to evolve. I think it is going to blur. And I do want the best of both worlds, right? I want the full apps on mobile devices, and I want mobile devices to be able to be used like the Moving Pad's instant pen display. That's what I want. I want one device that works in both contexts. That would be the best value for your money, right? And that's why I said I'm really interested in things like Samsung DeX and how Chrome and Android are coming together. So that's my thoughts about this. Right? Let's see, Enber says, I work in the game industry. I need to carry a laptop around to test my art in games. That's why I love a MovePad Pro with Windows ARM. I see. Because you actually need to run these game engines. You can't, I see. That makes sense, right? I'm going to screenshot this actually, because I want to collect, sort of, what's the right word here? Or let me see if I can copy this. Because this is actually the more people I talk to, the more I learn, okay? Oh, I hate this stupid thing. Okay, there we go. Okay. The two I'm looking for are around my budget. Cami Luna says, you can almost tell what promotional art to any media is made in Procreate by the brush. Oh, you can spot it pretty easy, Cami Luna. I'm not good at that because I really don't use a lot of texture brushes. Let's see, Pleasant, that's the main reason why I love laptops and drawing tablets. I'm a bit of a boomer and I can't get used to a standalone tablet. I understand. I didn't like using standalone tablets for a long time. I would say only now with the moving pads I'm like okay with it. Because honestly, the drawing experience with the S Pen it's not been great. It's okay, but it's just not what I'm used to. It's just okay. Anyway, that's the comment I wanted to share. And if you have any thoughts about one way or the other, because I actually want to write this up. I may actually do a video about it. So I want to get as much input as possible before I make that video. Okay, so let's get back to the show notes. Because there are topics. Where is it? There we go, 10:30. Okay. So we covered Edinburgh's comment. We covered my feedback. Okay, the next thing is there's a little bit of an update on updates for the MovingPad Pro. Let me show you this comment on Reddit. Okay. So it's just titled by user Tax10. Important, Wacom MovingPad Pro 14 will get updates. So this is, they pasted a Wacom support, I think, John Raimundo from Wacom. So he's talking to this person and he says, I guess they've asked about updates. Yeah, this is Wacom customer support. I'll just read it out. At Wacom, we're committed to providing you with all necessary updates in order to support the longevity of the device. We will announce updates at a later point of time. We are planning for the OS updates and will announce this in due time. So that is their official statement as Wacom Support has shared it. So I think this is good news. There's nothing like feeling like the device you just bought, which costs, almost $1,000, might not have been receiving updates. So let's see what happens. Now, this specific mail, this response from Wacom Support was in the context of MovingPad Pro. We don't know if this also applies to the MovingPad, the non-Pro 11-inch version. So it's one to keep in mind, okay? But this is good news. Now they don't tell us when they're going to have those updates, but hopefully we'll see. Remember, we need two kinds of updates. We need Android updates, OS updates, and we need security updates. Both of those things have to be true. The other thing, which is a question which I will ask Wacom, is what is the support lifetime for this tablet? Normal Wacom tablets are supported for at least 10 years. I'm not saying this tablet would be useful in 10 years. I think it'll be out of date much faster than that. But I would like to see at least that they're supporting this tablet for 5, right? Does that seem outrageous? I don't think so. And of course, it should work as long as it works, but I want to see it supported officially for 5, at least. But if some of you are using like a 10-year-old tablet, like a standalone, let me know. I'm really curious what that would be. Okay, so that's another bit of news I wanted to share. Oh yeah, so I wanted to talk about discounts. That was one thing. I can't remember who suggested this. I think it may have been Plutzing. I'm not sure. So I want to show you some of the big discounts that are going on. Let's just start with XP Pen, and I'll just talk about the one tablet or a couple of tablets here. I think the store would have it. Yeah, they really need to do that, Jerry. They need a decent one, and they haven't done that, okay? So let's just take a look at what they have. And now there's lots of things going on sale now, okay, or discounted. So I'll just briefly tell you which ones I think you may want to spend some time on, okay? Magic Notepad, okay, now it's down. This must be the 2025 version. It's down to $320, which is a good price. However, remember, the tilt is awful. The tilt is absolutely ridiculously bad, okay? And so if you need tilt, you're going to have to disable tilt in your brushes. Let's see, Francisco says, does the MovingPad Pro have video in? It does. It does not have literally video in terms of DisplayPort in. It has this app called Instant Pen Display, which is like, what's that app called? Like Super Display. Or I think that's the name. So there's a specialized protocol that does it, but it's not literally video in the way you're thinking about how a monitor works, okay? Yeah, and but you raise a good point though. Like if you want, if the tablet, let's say this moving pad, right? If it's not useful in 5 years because of updates, you still want it to work like a pen display. That's why having real video in is useful. So that's a good point. And let me write that down because actually I think, let's see, we want, sorry, let me write it at the top. So I would say moving pad. So we want normal DPN so that the device, even out of support lifetime, or if battery is bad, can be used like a normal pen display. That's a terrific point. Let's see. German, yeah, Huion struggling. Though to be fair, I think they don't advertise that Huion Note or Slate, whatever the hell it's called. They don't advertise it like a drawing tablet. They kind of advertise it more like a notepad. Now, maybe it works well in that situation. I don't know. I treat it like a drawing pad, and yeah, it's not good because the pen is bad. Tio says XP Pen Magic Notepad is $291 on AliExpress from seller XP Pen. Okay, interesting. So let me just note that down, which was I should copy the text. I don't easier than retyping it. Okay, thank you, Tio. So I would avoid Magic Notepad unless you don't care about tilt, but that's a good price. That's a decent price. But I think overall, honestly, and it does have DPN. Remember that. Okay, so that is actually a good thing about it. Artist 16 Ultra. I don't know. I personally think it's a little expensive for a 16-inch. That's my take. But I think it's probably pretty good. Tio, I think, might have had a chance to use it. If I recall Tio's video, the touch was kind of iffy, but I think overall it performed pretty well, if I recall. Artist 24 Pro, it's a good price, actually. But I wasn't happy. So I tried the. Is this the new one? No, I wouldn't get. This is not the new one. I wouldn't get this one. Magic. Sorry, I messed up things. Magic Drawing Pad is $400. Both of these, Magic Notepad and Drawing Pad, have bad tilt. Okay, Magic Drawing Pad's the one that has DPN, not Magic Notepad. My mistake. Artist Pro Gen 2. It's okay. I mean, like, I like it. There's nothing bad about it. I wasn't happy with. I didn't think the tilt compensation was as good as it should be. And in the model I have the 165 hertz version. I thought there was too much parallax. Okay, so those are the two problems with this one. Yeah, that's the old mark. Thank you, Jake, for confirming. So I really would have. I'm not a huge fan of these two models here, right? I have them, or I have the 165 version, which is this one, right? I don't think I wouldn't spend the money for this. And by the way, when you do 165 hertz, that screen gets really warm, right? Which I don't think is a good sign. Let's see, Tio says, I usually sell review units after the review, but I'm going to keep the XP Pen Ultra 16 because the tablet has almost every feature that a pen. Okay, that's a good endorsement from it. Thank you, Tio. I found this on Wacom's official site for moving paper. Use as a wireless or wired second screen. Yeah, the thing is, how long will that instant pen display be working? Like, will they turn it off one day? Who knows, right? Cammy Loon says, I can't use Magic Notepad for my projects because of the bad tilt and low specs that crash clips. Oh, you found crashes with it, huh? But I love it for sketching via concepts. Yeah. It's actually, if you can disable the tilt, it's actually fine. I do think the drawing experience is better with the Moving Pad Pro. But yeah, if you need tilt, then you have to figure out what you're going to do with it. Okay, Artist Pro 19. I think this is fine. It's now down to $700, so I think it's a decent price, right? Same with Artist Pro 6. These Gen 2 models are pretty good. So either one of these will be fine. I did like the Huion Canvas Pro 19 a bit better than this one. And it has touch, which this one does not. Artist Pro 16 Gen 2, I do like this. I used it for about 6 months. I was totally happy with it. Let's see. This one now it's down to $215. The Artist 12 third edition. I did really like it, and I do recommend it. It had a little bit of diagonal wobble, but overall I think it's a great beginner tablet. I have no problem recommending it. Okay, it is definitely better than the equivalent Wacom One tablet. I'll tell you that, which is much more expensive as well. Artist 13 Pro V2. So what's happening with these V2 models? They're like, it's the same as the old model, but they're like updating the pen, and it is a better pen, I guess. But I would kind of avoid this honestly, because I think you'd have a better time getting like this these Gen 2 ones, right? But I admit it's a good price. Same thing here with this Artist 15 6 Pro V2. This is the tablet I highly recommend. Okay, you remember I like 22 inches as its pen display size. This is one of the best values for a pen display ever. 22 inches, Gen 2, so it uses the better pen. It's QHD, right? So 2560 by 1440, and it's only $560. And something of this size is hard to get for $550 or $560. So I really think it's a great deal. Let's see. Oh, Hera has joined us. Hello, Hera. Hello, Hera. Daremont says XP Pen sells old stock on AliExpress. Sometimes they have crazy prices. That's tempting. What's the warranty situation like, Daremont? Do you know? Yes, Jerry. They have an X4 pen. It actually comes. It only comes with one tablet right now, which is this Artist 12 third edition. Oh, and someone, I think Hera asked me to try something. So I got to do some more testing. But Hera's question was, will the X4 pen work on these older tablets? And I tested it with the, I actually tested the X4 pen with the Artist Pro 22 Gen 2, this one. The X4 pen did not work, which surprised me because the X3 pen did work with the Artist 12 third edition. So I expected cross compatibility with the X4 pen, but it's not. The X4 pen only works with this 12 so far, right? So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Let's see. Tio says, I like the XP Pen Artist Pro 16 Gen 2. Yeah, I like the aspect ratio too, Tio. 19 Gen 2, good size, and 22 Gen 2. Yeah, so you agree with me? Good, good. It's a fantastic deal. It's a fantastic deal. And, you know, honestly, I really wish we had, this is what I'd call like, this is the kind of pricing I'd like to see for a tablet like that, okay? It just puts it in the ability for more people to have. So I think I'm glad to see that we can get it now for a bit less. Pro 14 Gen 2, this is, you know, this is what, $300 now. This is a good deal, actually. This is actually a good deal. I would prefer that people got this tablet than the Wacom 114 by far, okay? Wacom 114, by the time you get the cabling, is going to be, if you have HDMI, it's going to be like a $400 tablet. So it's a lot to deal with. These are older ones. I would not I don't have anything bad to say about these. These are older ones, and so I don't have a lot of experience with them either. These Artist 15.6 Pro, 13.3 Pro, etc., etc. I see all these are older as well. This is not too old. It's okay, but the reason I don't recommend the Artist 16 Gen 2, I found this. It may have been in Tio's video, but definitely was in Brad's video. This model has a lot of diagonal wobble, more than I'd expect. I do probably need to revisit this because I myself have, you know, I have formulated some better thinking around diagonal wobble, and maybe it's correctable. So I'll try checking. Let me just put that in my notes. Artist 16 Gen 2. I want to check this out again. Let's see. Let's see. TBD re-eval Artist 16 Gen 2 diagonal wobble. Okay, and specifically, how much smoothing to fix. Since people are probably curious what I'm talking about, let me just show you, because I did. Let's just go here. Artist 16. Oh, Artist 16 Gen. Yeah. I think I have some notes on it here somewhere. Oh, that's a pro version. I don't mean that one. I mean just the Artist 16. Okay, so I said it had high diagonal wobble, and Brad actually shows us his video. Okay, so let me make sure I'm going to mute this at 7:04. Okay, so let me make sure I mute my system audio for a second. Okay, you should still be hearing me. Okay, well, let's go at 7:04. Take a look at this. 7:04 is right. Okay, watch this. Okay, and he's gonna do it. Let me make sure that quality should be up to 1080. There we go. You see it? Do you see it right there? He's not drawing slowly either. This little wibble wobble here, and there's some here, and he's finding some here. This is too much. You should not be seeing this kind of diagonal wobble when you're drawing this fast. It should not be happening, okay? I think that's unacceptable. When it's really slow, it's acceptable because you can usually correct it. But if it's, see, there you go. You can just see it, can you? See the, I'm changing names. I'm calling it wibble wobble now. Let's see. So that, I just wanted you to see that. Let's see if he does it any more of it. He's probably, and I think he tried adding some smoothing and he couldn't get it to, he's moved it up to like, I don't know, 20, 30%. Let's see if it helps. I think it did help. We'll see. Anyway, I just want to show it to you. That's the thing I'm always worried about with this specific model. I found the same thing. So it's not just in Brad's model. Let's see. Harris says, I'm curious if the X4 pen could work on the recent Artist Ultra 16. It's infuriating that they released it right before. Yeah, it is. They should have gone with the X4 pen, honestly. And they should make it compatible with X3 and X4. People getting the drawing ask me for advice on cheap tablets. I always tell them buy secondhand Wacom on eBay. Let me take a drink of water. It's a good question, Edberg. It's a good question. Here's the catch. Here's the catch. So let's just break it apart. I have bought a lot of Wacom tablets on eBay, a ton. Okay, I'm very sure I have bought more tablets on eBay than any other human being. Okay, in eBay's history, and I can show you the exact numbers as well. Okay, so so I think it's good. I think it's probably good if you buy them from the official Wacom store, but I bought almost all of mine from the just other random sellers. Every tablet I bought has worked, except for one, okay? And I bought a lot of tablets. Now, you can save a lot of money. I would say I actually have a buying guide on buying used tablets, which I'm gonna link, okay? So let me link that. Let's see. Actually, I'll show you my screen. Can't believe how many documents I've written a book, basically. Every day, the amount of edits I've taken for this thing is kind of crazy. Okay, I actually have a guide called Buying Used Tablets, okay? And I probably need to update it. I'm gonna put it in the... So, actually, yeah, anyway, we'll talk about this. The key issue with these older tablets, besides, are they used, like are they scratched up, which you have to check for, is, will you get a pen, and most importantly, older drivers. Because older tablets use older drivers, and those older drivers may not last. They may be they may not be, sorry, I'm saying this the wrong word. Older drivers may not work with the current version of Windows or Mac OS, and you may have to use a newer driver, but the newer drivers may no longer support these older tablets. Wacom supports tablets for about 10 years. So if you buy a tablet made, let's say it was made in 2007, 2017, Wacom in 2 years, or maybe 4, will just drop support in the drivers. So that's a dangerous thing, okay? Edinburgh, he's also wibble wobble sensitive. uh, so yeah, everyone, whenever you see a video from Brad and Tio, they'll always do a test for this. So pay close, and they always comment on it. I think Tio does it almost every time. He'll comment on if he sees that wobble. Brad, I think he does it. He comments on it sometimes, but sometimes he doesn't mention it. I like to always explicitly mention whether I see it or not. Okay, and it's something that I think, you just again, it's okay if it's on a slow stroke, but you should never see it on a fast stroke. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I think that's the thing you have to worry about with a used tablet is the older driver situation. Wibble wobble wubba wubba woo woo woo. I like that, Gary. And older tablet drivers, sometimes can be hard to find, by the way. And then the other thing is, like, if you can't find it, check if Open Tablet Driver. Now, Open Tablet Driver is really complicated to set up. I'm not gonna lie, but it does. Let me just show you. It supports a lot of tablets. It's like over 200, and they add more like every month. Okay. They don't have as many pen displays that they support as opposed to pen tablets, but look at this list. It's crazy. Okay. And they support really old tablets too. Let's see. I remember seeing a secondhand old Wacom tablet. It's much cheaper than my Deco Pro, right? So let's take a look. Let's go to eBay and let's walk through this scenario, right? eBay, okay? And let's take a look at a good tablet. One of the best tablets ever, literally the best tablet ever created, okay? It's a PTH 660, okay? So a couple of things. Now this one says pre-owned, $150. Okay, good price. It's a good price. Okay, let's take a look at it, and I will pretend like I'm going to buy it, meaning I'll just talk you through my thinking here, right? So the first question is, when was this tablet made? Now, it's not printed anywhere, but it was made in 2017. This means that it will be supported by Wacom drivers for at least 2 years, probably 4 more years. Okay, so in some time, there's going to be a problem where you're going to have to be faced with the issue of maybe the driver doesn't work for it. You can use an older driver, but at some point Windows will update and the older driver won't work correctly. Okay? So next thing you look at is, by the way, sometimes the eBay sellers make mistakes. Like they'll accidentally, they're not trying to defraud anybody, but they don't know tablets for anything, they're not tablet experts. So they will list it's Intuos Pro large, but it's actually a small one or a medium one. So you have to be careful. Look at the photos. And sometimes they actually have the wrong photos. So you want to double check the model number, okay? Next thing is, you want the box. Trust me, you want the box, okay? As much as you can, get one in a box. Next thing I notice is, it's hard to tell from this picture, but I don't see it scratched up, okay? I do not see that it's scratched up. It comes with the pen and the stand. You want to make sure you're getting both those things. You want to make sure you're getting the nibs if possible, if you care about these things. I don't know why this guy has this, because that makes no sense to me. That charger has nothing to do with this tablet. So I don't know if there seems to be some confusion with the seller, right? Cube says, worth noting that drivers break way faster on macOS updates than Windows updates. So macOS, yes, that's a great point. That's a great point. What I have seen, both personally, as well as on the Reddit, macOS updates, like clockwork, people have problem with their driver, and they need to get a new driver. It's a mess, okay? So the next thing is, if I looked at the seller, I want to see a picture of the back of the tablet with the model number. You got to make sure that they take a picture, right? Some people have asked, they've told me they've asked the seller to draw something to just verify it works, right? Yeah, it's a free charger. Maybe that's worth it, right? But I'm always concerned about scratches. Okay, let me tell you something else. Let's, for the sake of argument, say that on this tablet, there was a lot of scratches, okay? Like, let's say the price was good, but it was scratched all the hell. Like, I mean gouged. Would I buy the tablet? 99% of the time, I would not buy a tablet. Absolutely, I would never buy tablets gouged out like that or scratched up. However, in this case, I would do it. And why is that? Especially if the price was good. because as long as you can, remember this sheet on the Intuos Pro Medium and Large from the 2017 editions is replaceable, right? And so they cost $40, I think, the replacement sheets. But, if you do the math, let's suppose this is being sold for $100 but scratched up, it would be worth it. I'd get this, first I'd get the sheet because they're rare. They're not always in stock. And then I'd buy this tablet and replace the sheet. So that's good. No other tablets besides these Intuos Pros have this replaceable texture sheet, okay? Let's see. Plazing, the one that you found is the PTH851. Yeah, which just got dropped from Wacom drivers, the latest driver. I will bet, Edinburgh, that those, your colleagues probably are, probably have not upgraded to the latest Wacom drivers. Because the latest Wacom drivers have drop support for a lot of tablets, right? Now, I do believe they keep the Cintiqs, the pen displays, running longer than the pen tablets. So that's another thing that, but I haven't tested it out specifically. And also, yes, as Cube has pointed out, if they're on Windows, they have a better chance of it working than not. Okay. So yeah, read my used buying guide, used tablet buying guide. Read my guide on older tablet drivers, and that's what you got to watch out for, right? Yeah, and just so people, I want to make sure people know what I'm talking about here. So let's go find a driver here. I'll just type in Wacom driver. And so I'll show you how this works. So you go to click drivers and downloads, and let's go and take a look at this. So this is the latest driver, 6411-1, right? Relatively recent, September 15th. Click on release notes, okay? They will tell you things like up here, what they drop support. Look at how many tablets they drop support for, right? And we're starting to see now, if you bought a Cintiq 22 recently, they drop support for it, right? Now, this doesn't matter for a lot of people, but what happened is there was a Mac OS update, Mac OS 26, that screwed the old driver. So you have to get the new driver, but the new driver drops support for old tablets. So it's just a combination of events which frustrate a lot of Mac OS people, right? It's, rock in a hard place. Right? You're screwed. You can't use the older drivers on Mac OS 26, and the new driver doesn't work with your tablet. So you're just out of luck, right? But take a look at the numbers. So they're now on the Intuos Pro, which means this is like the 2013 edition, these 451, I believe. So very soon, they're going to drop in 2 to 4 years, they're going to drop PTH, the X60 series. So you got to watch out. Now, Open Tablet Driver will help you, but again, it does take, it's missing, Cube's there, so I don't want to. Open Tablet Driver is fantastic. However, it takes expertise to set up, and it's missing a lot of features that you might be using. Like there's no display toggle. I'm not proposing to be added. I'm just saying, you got to get used to some limitations, okay? But it's a fantastic thing. It keeps your tablets alive. I recommend it only for people who are playing OSU, or who just have a very old tablet, or people who need to switch tablets between brands a lot. I use it for testing, but I wouldn't recommend it just normally for someone, unless it was like a really specific reason. Oh, and Cube is reminding us, if you want to get your tablet, I guess you're saying the driver drops support, and you want to use Open Tablet Driver and it's not supported, drop by the Discord, and I can probably get a new config added for it. I always forget this, that these config files can add support for tablets. It doesn't always require a code change, which is interesting. Let's see, Wacom just ruined the day of thousands of 3D artists. Those Intuos Pros are in every... Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Because this series came out in 2013. Oh, let's see. Cube is confident. There is display toggle, but it's not exactly fun to set up. You have to manually set up. Okay, I didn't realize that. But yeah, this is so it's good to know it's possible, but you can see it takes a little more effort, some of these features, right? Maybe one day I can, we can only dream that we'll get a more sort of easy feature. For the record, the feature I want is on Windows, a one-click setting or automatic setting, I guess, so that the Windows Ink stuff is just set up, so I don't have to think about it. Because that's probably my biggest irritation with the Open Tablet driver is I have to go set like so many different things about the tip and the thing. Oh, and like I don't think you can use both buttons. There's only one thing the button can do or something. Like you can't map them the way I think. I'm messing up something in my explanation, but there is some limitation. Let's see. Okay, so that was that. Let me get back to my show notes. What was I showing here? Either Wacom will make a new Intuos Pro or they won't drop support. I don't think they're going to make a new Intuos Pro for a while because the last one was 2017. The new one was 2025. So if we just do the math, it's 8 years. So I don't think we're going to see an Intuos Pro until 2032. I'd love to be wrong. I would absolutely love to be wrong. Let me make sure everyone understands that. Cami Luna says, I use OTD when I need to use both my XP Pen display and Wacom too. Yeah, that's a good use for it if you need a switch like that. I don't think they will make a driver that only supports one generation. Right. I can see what you're saying. Oh, I see Jaggi's here. He had another comment I missed. Talking about older tablet, I saw your review on Cintiq 22. I saw one near me. I wouldn't get it. Even though it's a good deal, like, I think that support has just been dropped, okay? And second thing is the screen is not that good. If Open Tablet Driver works for it and you're okay, if you can see it, if you're okay with the screen and you're okay with Open Tablet Driver, then it's decent. It's decent. But I think a better choice for a lot of people, honestly, are the XP Pen Artist Pro 22, which is just as big, has a better screen, and just came out, right? And it's only like $160 more expensive. And brand new. Let's see. The tip and button stuff should be fixed sometime. Good to hear. There's a new feature of OTD called Adaptive Binds for this, but Winink plugin isn't updated quite yet. Okay, so it sounds like it's in planning. As for two separate buttons in Winink, that's rough. The API doesn't really support it, and other drivers rely on... Oh, really? But you can bind to keyboard buttons. Okay, maybe that will work for me, right? Yeah, Edinburgh, good point. The Cintiq 22 does have more parallax. You will notice the parallax for sure, right? Harris says, I'm just waiting for the Huion key dial pen tab to be updated with Pentec 4.0. Okay, let me check something real quick. I may need to just get something from the front door. Let me double check. Yeah, it's here. Okay, just give me a couple of minutes. I'm gonna go downstairs, pick up something. I'm gonna take a bite of some food off camera and be right back. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry for the delay. I just had to get something to eat. Oh, man. Let's see. Striding Jack. Ever since Wacom announced they're discontinuing old Wacom drivers, I've been leaning towards Huion as a better brand. The truth is, Wacom is still the most reliable. Huion's getting better, XP Pen's getting better, but I think they still struggle with it. When I mean more reliable, it's a statistics question. Out of 1,000 units of any tablet, I see that just the rate of errors is less than Wacom. Wacom has made plenty of tablets that have problems, that you have to return or whatever. But I think that rate is higher in Huion XP Pen. But they've been getting better. And they've been getting more reliable. For the record, every Huion tablet I own has worked perfectly. Every XP Pen tablet I own has worked perfectly. I've never had a problem. Second, if you see people on Reddit, they say, oh, you might see like, oh, everyone's complaining about the Huion, especially 13-inch models. That's the model most people buy. They buy the smaller 13-inch model. So guess what? When you go to Reddit, very few people go to Reddit on the drawing tablet subreddits and say, I had a totally flawless experience. It was perfect. Out of 100 messages, people will 99% of the time only go there to post if they have a problem. You never hear about that. So complaints can be overrepresented as well. But in general, I do think Wacom is the safe choice for reliability. Yeah, the tilt situation is crazy, Kenny. I hate that Wacom does this. They're trying to like make you feel like no tilt is like a punishment for consumers. But like, first of all, I'm going to remind everyone this. You know how the tablet can detect the pen position? There is no hardware to detect tilt in the pen or the tablet, meaning there's no special tilt hardware. The pen, by the way, doesn't know it's being tilted. It's the tablet that senses it. And what hardware do they use to sense tilt? The very same hardware they use to detect position. So when a tablet's saying, I won't give you tilt, what that means is either in the firmware or the driver, most likely the firmware, they're just turning off the tilt feature. There's no reason not to have tilt. It's for free, okay? In terms of implementation. It doesn't cost them any more to have tilt. Let's see. It's me. Hi. How's the moving pad? Love it. I love it. It's my number one tablet right now. I love it. I love it. I was just saying that when I do my drawing tablet awards show, it's like in the running for the tablet of the year. That's what I think. That is what I think. Yeah, lots of people continue using their tablets for a long time, right? You look at the number of artists, professional artists who are still using it in 203. That's the PTZ series. It's got a very loyal following, and I totally understand it. Or I was using in 204 XL for about a year or so. And if you saw my stream, I actually used a tablet that was like 20 years old. So like it is, or something like that. I do have bad Huion units, usually the pen. The pens in all tablets are the most likely thing to break, okay? But these are like the first Huion tablets from 2015, 2017. Yeah, I wouldn't, for Huion and XP Pen, I have always said, don't buy anything before 2021. First, because I've never used those things earlier, and I have one which is like a 2019 version, Huion HS611, and it's okay, but like, you know, the tech is older, right? Yeah, I don't have one with batteries either. Okay, I'm gonna get back to showing what sales are on. So XP Pen, sorry, where were we? Here, anything else here? I think that covers it for this. Artist 22 Plus is not bad, but realistically, it's the same as the Artist Pro 22 Gen 2, except it's only HD. And it's 412. Whereas the 22 Gen 2, the Artist Pro 22 Gen 2, I mean, where is it? I'm gonna find it here. This one is 550. It's worth it to get this. You get just much better screen. I have a UG from 2015 that works like it's brand new. Not a comp. Okay, got it. So you're still not happy with it, even though. Let's take Huion. And then we'll take a look at Wacom. Deramon says, it was my brother's first tablet back then. He went to Huion and I went to Wacom. He's still using, plugged in, but okay. Okay. So let's take a look at what we got here. Can I see just a list here? Maybe I should just look at the store. Look at the Halloween sale. Okay. Let's go ahead and just shop now. Take a look. Okay. Pro V2 wouldn't get it. Okay. All they did was add the new pen. I don't think it's worth it. You should better get the Canvas 16 Gen 3. That's a better choice. Canvas 13, yeah. This is my top recommendation right now for a 13-inch tablet. 16 Gen 3, I think this price should come down. I think it's a bit expensive for what it is, but I do recommend this tablet. I do have this tablet. Harry, you got a great point. There's a big difference between the old Huion and old Wacoms, right? And they release a lot of tablets. RF Sketch says, I wonder if we'll see an updated base Intuos. They replaced their consumer Intuos with the Wacom 1M and Wacom 1S back in 2023. So maybe, but I'm not expecting one soon, RF Sketch. Kim Lou says, you used to have the HS611. Worked good for painting, but bad for using the pen as a mouse for web design. Nib is very springy, yes. Very springy. I always wondered how that would work long term. I could tolerate it, but I didn't. It's just very different from what we're used to in modern pens. Never get the Slate tablets from Huion, by the way. Pro 19, I wish it were cheaper, but this is a great tablet. I have no problem recommending the Pro 19, okay? Canvas 13, wouldn't get this. If you're gonna get this one, get the PW550 pen. But overall, I think you'll get a better experience with the Canvas 13 Gen 3. I know it's more expensive, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Canvas Pro 24 4K. Again, if you get this one, you have to get the PW550. I wouldn't recommend it right now because they have the new Canvas Pro coming up. Also, this screen has some anti-glare sparkle that you'll notice. It's not crazy bad, but it's very noticeable, okay? And I think these days we know we don't want anti-glare sparkle. Canvas 22, I have this tablet. Actually, I have the 22 Plus. Don't get this one. It's just outdated. The connectivity is outdated, like how cabling works. The XP Pen Artist 22 Plus is equivalent to this and better. Or the XP Pen Artist Pro 22 Gen 2 is also very good. Even better. Canvas Pro 27, I don't have this one, but everything I've heard about it is that it's pretty good. So I think people can get it if they want something this big. I don't recommend typically people get 27-inch tablets because they're really... Think about something 27 inches right in your face. But it's a bit much. Canvas Studio... I don't recommend getting any pen Windows machines like this. They're too expensive to repair. They're too expensive in general, right? There's no point. Instead, actually, you know what? I will do a video on how's this sound? Tell me, give me some feedback in chat. I'm gonna do a video on a low-cost digital art, for basic digital art, okay? An entire setup, which is tablet, stand if needed, PC, mini PC or laptop, and any other accessories. And we'll just see if we can do it for as little amount as possible. And maybe we'll add some accessories to it just to see, what would add on to it, like a tour box or something. And then I'll say, let's go tweak it by $500 and we'll get the next tier up. Lots of people just want a very cheap solution. I would say right now, if you want a pretty good actually, get like a Canvas 13 Gen 3 with a Minisforum UM870 Slim mini PC. It's going to cost you less than, it's going to cost you like $600 total. And you get a very decent experience, actually, a very good experience. Pen tablets, I got to reevaluate these two. I think they're probably okay. When they first came out, they had a lot of low pressure artifacts. These are all using the same technology. Honestly, if you can wait. I want to see Pentec 4.0 pen tablets, right? So I would actually wait on these. Okay, and then I didn't actually take a look at XP Pen's pen tablets. Let's just do that real quick. Yeah, Dermond, yeah, very springy nibs. It's very hard to choose between Canvas Pro 24 for the 4K or Cintiq 24. I'll be honest, I lean toward the Cintiq 24, honestly. Right. Yeah, I remember that RF sketch. Could you remind us what you didn't like about the V2 version? I have it. I haven't really used it per se. Yeah, Dermond, I agree. I love my Giano, right? I mean, I've been using my Giano a lot over the past year, not lately. But I'm not going to buy another pen tablet from Huion unless it has the new Pentec 4.0. Okay? So, Huion, if you're watching, I'm eagerly awaiting that Pentec 4.0. Okay? We need to see it. Let's see, Pleasing. I want to buy a display tablet and pair up with my drawing tablet, but I'll probably hold it for a while since I'm planning to buy a good display tablet when I have a job. Got it. Hera, I agree with you. I want tablets in pretty colors as well. I'm tired of black plastic or gray plastic, okay? It's a mess. And I want colorful things because can you imagine I have so many tablets around me? They're all like just black plastic. I can't even tell the difference. I actually have to label my tablets to identify which one's which. Okay. I need to have a bio break. And I'll have a quick bio break and I'll be right back, okay? Okay, I am back, and somehow the music stopped. But I don't know if it stopped for you or for me. So... Oh, I see. It's playing. Okay, hang on. Let me avoid having you look at my Bluetooth settings. Where is it? There it is. I think I'm looking at. Which one is it? Okay. I name my AirPods. I have two pairs. This one is Kazuhura. The other one is Ahab. Fans of Metal Gear Solid 5 will know why I picked those names. Okay. We're back. You hear it? Okay, good. Okay, we just catch up on chat real quick. Pistachio and Tuos. I would love a pistachio and Tuos. RF Sketch. Yeah, we'll get there. I think one more generation. Maybe Pentec 5.0 or something. We'll get there. To be honest, most people probably couldn't tell. Okay. I did actually put on a shirt and tie, but I decided to keep it a little informal. Kairos, I was just saying that my... you can name these. So they, I have two pairs because I'm streaming for so long they run out of juice sometimes. So this pair, the name, if I look it up on my Bluetooth, is Kazuhura AirPods. And my other one is called Ahab AirPods. Because in Metal Gear Solid 5, there is a character named Kazuhura Miller. And then Ahab is a code name for Snake in Metal Gear Solid 5. I am completely obsessed with Metal Gear Solid 5. Completely. And by the way, at Microsoft, I played it in front of people at work. Like, they always saw me playing Metal Gear Solid 5. Okay. Let's see. A tablet to surpass Metal Gear. Okay, I want to show you XP Pen's pen tablets. Let's see if there's any good deals there. You like it too, Kairos? Yeah, it is amazing. Like, I don't know, it's so weird and wacky, but I just love how weird and wacky it is. Okay. So, Deco V3, I guess it works fine. I wasn't super impressed, but like it's cheap. I think it has a high IIF though, so maybe for a beginner, but I would not recommend this. Deco Pro Gen 2, absolutely I recommend, right? There's a small one or a medium one and a large one. They're both fine. Deco Fun, I don't know. Deco 640, I don't know. This Deco Pro, I would not recommend. Yes, Kairos, I just wanted more, right? I just wanted more of that story and that third chapter. Star G2, I think this is a really old tablet. I wouldn't recommend it. Deco Fun L, maybe I'll get it just to test, honestly. Deco 03 for Live. This seems like an old tablet. I would not recommend this one either. No to these. No to this. Deco LW, I recommend. That's a fine tablet. Yeah, the Deco 01 V3 and V2 are almost the same tablet. There's really no difference. They are the same tablet. Deco 2, nope. Deco M, yeah, it's a fine tablet. I think the L is better because it's just larger. And Deco MW, which is the same. W just means it's wireless. Yep, fine tablet. Out of stock though, interesting. Oh, god darn it. Thank you, Hera. Sorry. Let me just recap. Basically, I said Deco V3, I wouldn't recommend it. Deco Pro Gen 2, yes. Basically, I don't recommend anything else until we get to the Deco LW. Deco M or Deco MW. That's the pen tablets that I'd recommend, right? Looks like this is a good deal. The LW for $77 is a good deal. I would recommend that. But the Pro Gen 2, which size is this? It doesn't say the size. There's 3 sizes. Okay. I love the design. This large is really large. It's the size of the Giano or the Intuos Pro Large. It's bigger actually because it has more. The XP Pen loves their bezels. So let's see. The XLW, which is the large one, is 15:9 active area, $150, $160. This is an absolutely great value, right? It is absolutely great value. Kagari 77. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I'm sure they're going to do it. I'm just waiting. I think everyone's just waiting. So that's a bit too large for most people. So let's do the LW here. Remember, this is the Deco Pro Gen 2. So what's the discount? Wait a second, is that right? The XLW is 160. The LW is 135. I wish it was a bit cheaper, but it's a fantastic tablet, so I have no problem recommending it. Okay, let's take a look at Wacom. It's simple with Wacom, they don't have that many products. Okay, I like both the moving pads, there's no doubt. I think the Moving Pad Pro is better, the 14-inch one, right? I really do think it's fantastic. Okay, let's go bottom to top for the pen displays. This is the list we see, right? Let's see, Cami Luna says, I think a dream home setup would be a KP19 pen display paired with non-existent Pantech 4.0 tablet to use as a mouse and for... Yeah, I can see it. I think it's just a matter of time. Maybe they're just not releasing it yet, so they deplete their existing stock of tablets, right? Because the minute they release a new one, people are not going to buy the old ones that are in stock. So maybe that's the reason. Because they've got the technology. It's not like they need to develop. They just need to make the tablets. XP Pen loves their chins. I hadn't thought about calling it a chin, but yeah, they really do. And it's not a bad thing since it raises from the tablets. Yes, I like the design a lot. Yeah, it was such a huge, it was controversial. They didn't need to make the change. And they probably could have eliminated or alleviated some of the complaints, like the sharper edge. Some people really did not like that. Cami says, Harris says, Cami, I want the Huion Kidal pen tab with Pentech 4.0 as a shortcut. And as a mouse posture friendly. Yeah, that makes sense. Posture's a huge thing. Okay, Cintiq Pro, and they're calling this the 2023 series. Okay. I do recommend these tablets. However, they're crazy expensive, and there's no point spending this much money. I have the 22 and 27, okay? It is $3,000 for this 22-inch tablet. Think about that. It's not even discounted. And I have the 27, which is $3,500. This is too much. This is too much. I suspect an issue with non-Wacoms is that the wobble may be random with some models. I remember Rutten got a wobbly sense last, but it was fine for Kobo. There are a couple of cases where I noticed wobble. I can't think of the exact cases where maybe Brad didn't notice it. So yeah, there is some variance between units, which is why when I talk about tablets, these days I tend to say, oh, I found wobble with the unit I have, right? Instead of, oh, just the tablet, the entire series has it, right? Though generally it's true. If one tablet has it, the entire series has it. Yeah, I have that stand, and it's solid, but I wouldn't, no. I just got that to, make sure I knew what the best would be. For the Cintiq Pros, yeah, they got, for some reason, they have fans. I don't know what the reason is, but they have fans. The reason I suspect they have fans is that they run brighter, thus they run hotter, that they need to be cooled. That's my theory. Like if the Moving Pad Pro doesn't need a fan, why does the Cintiq Pro? Really interesting. Oh, sorry, I closed the Wacom list. Let's go back there. And once we get to the tablets, I'm going to take a look at Affinity, okay? Because that's some news today. So yeah, these are great tablets, Cintiq Pros. They're just really expensive. Yeah, Hera, you got it right. Get it if you just have the money to burn, or you're better if your employer is paying for it. That's the right answer. That is the right answer. Wacom Moving, I really like. It is really good. I'm not gonna lie. I really like it. It's awfully expensive for what it is. Okay. I think they changed the price. Oh yeah, $750. Shouldn't cost this much. Should not cost this much. Where did the music go? Oh, there it is. I wouldn't get it. I would not get the Cintiq Pro 17. There's just, unless you have to have all this fancy color support, I don't think it's worth getting it. It's a great tablet, except for that fan. But I think it is overkill. Pleasing. I think it's overkill. Okay, Wacom Cintiq. Now we're talking about the 2025 editions. These are fantastic. Okay, there's 3 editions. Let me just talk about them. There's the 24 and 24 Touch. Get the one with Touch. I would say. I think it's worth it, actually. And I don't even use Touch that often, but I think it's worth it. These are right now some of my top recommended pen displays. Kairos, I briefly mentioned that. I said, I think I personally like the Canvas Pro 19 better, the Huion one, because it has touch, but it also has a slightly softer screen. This has a much crisper screen, okay? The Artist Pro 19 Gen 2. So it's a good tablet. I just prefer the Canvas Pro a little better. Also, the pen that comes with the Canvas Pro is more consistent unit to unit, so I do think it's a better pen there. So I have the 24 Touch and the 16. They're both tablets that I love and I recommend them. In fact, they're on my desk right now. Where's the... I keep on closing the Wacom site, unfortunately. For some crazy reason. Wacom 1. The 14 is fine, but the drawing experience is just okay. Don't get it for a great drawing experience. Get it for an okay drawing experience. If you're a teacher who needs to just do, your drawing for your students, it'll work fine. And it's relatively cheap, the 14. Let's take a look at that. I think it's $300. Yeah, $300. This is okay. It's okay. Remember, if it needs a plug-in with HDMI though, you're gonna have to spend $100 buying the Wacom converter and some cables. So, I recommend it, but I think that you have to be very careful how it's gonna connect. I think that's the better strategy. I think you'll save money and get just as good an experience, honestly. Okay, so Wacom 1, I don't like the Wacom 113 Touch or the Wacom 112. I gotta retest those, but they don't deliver a lot. They're expensive. They don't deliver a lot of value for what they are. Okay, one by Wacom. If you're playing Osu, this is a great. This is I think the best one to get. I do recommend this tablet. It is actually very good. The only negative is the USB ports are like a mini or micro USB. I forgot which one, but that's it. Get the medium size. It's a totally solid tablet. It could be cheaper, to be fair. I think it is a little more expensive than we'd expect. I don't know why I can't see the price on this thing. Anyway. But this is a decent tablet for a beginner. No problem with that. Brirman says, I believe Cintiq Pro were never intended for consumers, but for studios. Yeah, I agree with you, absolutely. For a studio, that price is nothing. The problem with Wacom 1 series right now is old Pentec, Wacom 112, 13, and 13 Touch have horrible... Yeah, and they have this they have that UD-EMR Pentec, which is not... It's not good. The reason I think Wacom should abandon this UD-EMR... Sorry, to be more specific, Wacom should allow... First of all, Wacom Pro Pens should work on any tablet, number one. That's my first rule. Number two, they've got to make these consumer pens better, right? Sorry, Wacom. You got to make them work better. It's unacceptable. Number 3, they need to add tilt for every tablet. They need to quit playing this game where tilt is forbidden for consumer tablets. Yes, exactly, Hera. I think that's a good choice. Canvas Pro or regular Cintiq over Cintiq Pro is a much better choice. Yeah, we're going to look at Infinity, Hera. We're going to look at Infinity. I just downloaded it before the stream. So we'll talk about that. That's today's big news, actually. Let's go back here. Other products. So one by Wacom's fine, but it's a beginner tablet. Wacom One, do not get these. Do not get the Wacom One medium or small. These are horrible. Just okay drawing experience. They still have a lot of pressure banding. Do not recommend these, okay? I do need to reevaluate them with what I've learned, but I would not recommend. Wacom Intuos, older tablet, works fine. It's, works fine. There's nothing wrong with this. I think these two don't support tilt, but besides that, it's fine tablet. Where are we? Intuos Pro, yeah, it's the best pen tablets in the market, right? Get it. Get it if you can deal with the bezels. Let's go back here. Back to Wacom here. One by Wacom One, it's going to happen. I always say this out of some arrogance, I guess, but I'm going to say it again. One of the things I worked on a lot at Microsoft was naming products. I'm not saying I was the only person naming things, but I sat in and participated quite enthusiastically in a lot of decisions about how things were named, okay? And the final naming of products at Microsoft always comes from marketing. They decide the name, okay? But they involve the engineering team, and that was why I was involved. And it's a real art, but I'll tell you, Wacom picks some bad names. I'm sure there's a reason for, or a strategy for their naming. It causes confusion, okay? Perfect example, Wacom One by Wacom. Bad idea. MoveInk Pad. So MoveInk, okay, I like that. But then they added MoveInk Pad. You know someone's going to buy the wrong tablet. You know it. Right? They're going to buy the MoveInk because it's more expensive, thinking that it's a MoveInk Pad, and they're not going to be happy. Okay, so bad naming. I personally think, by the way, since no one's asked me, I think for Wacom's consumer tablets, let's start the pen displays, they should just dump the Wacom One. Just dump it completely. And I think they should just go with MoveInk for their consumer line completely. Okay? Just completely dump the Wacom One name. Get rid of the actual tablets. Just have a MoveInk. Okay? And I guess it's too late about the MoveInk Pad name, but they should have just named it something else. Okay? It's confusing people. Francisco, yeah, large corpos love to confuse buyers with naming schemes. Intel and AMD are just perfect examples, yes. Amazon had both MoveInk Pad 11 and MoveInk Pad 11, MoveInk 13 the same listing. Oh, fantastic. That's so bad. Yeah, the Canvas Pro V2, yeah. I don't know why they're doing that. It's so confusing. And they don't have to be that confusing. So, if anyone here is from Wacom or Huion or XP Pen, and you need to pick names, even for free, I will help you pick a name. Okay? If you don't know what to call something, I will help you find the phrase or the name or a descriptive phrase for the product or feature. Okay? If you're struggling with explaining what a feature does, I literally will volunteer my time to craft very good text for you that explains what it is. Okay? In a way that human beings will be able to instantaneously read and understand. That is my offer to any drawing tablet manufacturer. Okay? They'll never take me up on this. Yeah, they should. Jeru, they should have. I would love that. And again, I will freely give my time to make the naming good and the descriptions of things good. Now, Wacom is good with the words. Like, let's take a product here. Let's pick the Intuos Pro 2025. Right? They actually do a decent job here, right? But I think they don't. I think they could do better. Huion and XP Pen, maybe it's because of language translation issues. Sometimes they suffer from whatever process they use to translate to English can come up with some really weird expressions, right? Like not weird, but like they're grammatically correct, but they just don't ring correctly to an English speaker's ear. Does that make sense? So when I was at Microsoft, I'll tell you a little story. So as you can tell, I take words pretty seriously. That's why I want to start a separate channel about communication. And we're in this team, which is now called is Azure Data, right? And one of my work buddies, his name is Michael Reese, RYS, great guy. And he's from Germany. Okay. No, actually, he's actually Swiss, but I say that he simulates being a German. And he and I, we both very picky about words, and we both said that it's funny that the two best communicators in English in this team of 1,000 people were two people, me and him, who weren't even born in this country, right? Because we'll get so many emails from execs or other people. We're like, what a poorly written. Not just like it's bad, but it's like they're so confusing. Anyway, I just wanted to rant about writing. RF Sketch, I feel like Moving 13 could just have been the Cintiq 13 and Moving Pad would just be, yeah, that would absolutely work. They should have just done that. They should have said Cintiq 13, exactly what you said, right? I love that idea. Maybe I should try to work for one of these companies since I'm going. Yeah, Harry, you could be so influential since obviously you know the tech and you know the product very well. I agree they should ditch the shitty products and move on to yes, just dump them. Okay, and I'm sure there's a strategy. Like I don't want to say like Wacom's just filled with people who don't know what they're doing. They obviously do. It's not working, Wacom. Okay, let me put my face on here. Wacom, it's not working, okay? It's not working. When you ship tablets like the Wacom One, which have inferior drawing capabilities, and they're missing features that are basic features that your competitors have, and the competitor tablets for that consumer space are beating you, the effect it has, the tablets you release, is to diminish the brand. I think when you get a product that has the word Wacom on it, it should be a guaranteed great experience. If you think there's a market for consumer level mediocre drawing tablets, great. I tell you what, start a new brand, right? You know how like Toyota owns Lexus, right? Toyota Motor Corporation owns Lexus and Toyota. You can be a brand that sells Wacom, which are strictly the best, and create a consumer brand which doesn't have the word Wacom in it, right? Like don't use the word Wacom. It should just be like I don't know. Pick a lame consumer name for it, right? Like a basic tablet company, and go ahead, see if that market works. Because I think when you have these Wacom One devices and these UD-EMR pens, which do nothing but create a bad experience, a substandard, like how can you even do it? Dump it. Dump it. Wacom should only mean excellence, okay? And your products are excellent. I want all of them to be excellent, okay? Sorry, I'm just ranting. Their pricing Riz just speaks for themselves. Yes. all the XP Pen Huion 2019 models being 1080p regardless. Yeah, that is baffling. I know, Hanem. Yeah, it's just. I mean, let's be honest. Some people really like their Camus Pro 16, and they've been on the stream, right? Especially the ones that don't have 4K. The 4K one has insane anti-glare. Let's see. Cube says, if we're talking about naming, gotta mention XP Pen naming tablets, totally unambiguous things. Like, actually, yeah. So there's a great example. XP Pen has a tablet called Artist Pro 16. They have another tablet, completely different tablet. Artist 16 Pro. Like what? You get that? Artist Pro 16, Artist 16 Pro. Those are two tablets XP Pen sells. And then having this Gen 2, V2, was like, what? What is going on there? A new 7 lore just dropped. I love 7 lore. Wexus. Yeah, that'd be a good name. Welcome. Give us pro compatibility. Yes. If the pen, look, I get it. The pen costs $130. Am I happy about that price? No. But for $130, I expect stuff. I expect tilt. To work on any device. I expect that to be a magical pen that works on any Wacom device. I don't think that's unreasonable. And not only that, so now I'm pointing my finger at Wacom. I hope that isn't a rude gesture for talking to a Japanese company. So I'll tone it down. I'll just talk like this with my hand, sort of. Wacom. If I'm paying that much for a pen, it had better work on all your devices. And we know that the tech exists to make the Pro pens work with the UDMR pens. Why? You have now released 1, 3, 4, 5. You've now released 6 tablets that support both the Pro pen and UDMR. And guess what? They work, right? So there's not like an issue. Oh, that paper tablet, Edinburgh, that was just a normal Wacom Intuos Pro with some extra accessories. It wasn't anything special about it. I don't think anyone was buying it. Yeah, Jeremiah, you're right. UG owns, they have UG, they have XP Pen, they have Sense Labs. Huion, yeah, Artisul, and of course, what's the other one they have? I can't remember now. Mocha. That's interesting. Mocha. That sounds like a villain. UG, yeah, okay. SenseLab, yes. XP Pen is the company that owns a brand called XP Pen. Actually, sorry. Hanvon UG is a name for a company that owns UG tablets, XP Pen, and SenseLabs. So what you say there, are they the same manufacturer? We don't fully know the extent to which the digitizers in a SenseLabs tablet are literally the same digitizers at XP Pen. It would be a logical inference, but we don't have evidence of exactly that being the case. They might be from different generations, for example, but I can see why that would be plausible. XP Pen naming has also screwed up OTD configs multiple times by either contributors mixing it up. Yeah, I can believe that. Or users misunderstanding which tablet they have. It's usually, yeah. Oh, years later. Wow. I can believe it. I can believe it. Wacom deserved the rudeness since their pricing and product strategy were rude first. Well, I don't think they won a lot of fans with their pricing for the Cintiq Pros. Okay, let's be honest. I'm very happy with their pricing for the moving pads. I want to make sure I say that. And I'm very happy with the price for the new Cintiqs. SenseLabs is kind of like their Lexus. No, that's a... Yeah, SenseLabs is targeting like artists who work in studios, like strictly that set of people. So they focus on things that, like good support, and they're pretty serious. Remember, the SenseLabs is filled with former Wacom people, and I get the feeling they were frustrated with how Wacom was making decisions and what they were focusing on. Galman, that's it, Dermon. Thank you. I do remember some tangible evidence early SenseLab tablets were identifying themselves in Linux as yeah. No, I believe you. I saw that myself, even on Windows. So like, there was an error message or something when or a driver installation. It actually said Yuji on it. So they are definitely, some of the same driver code is being used. Oh, Parblo and Vike, I actually don't know. I don't know. I've wondered the same thing. I think, yeah, I think most people would probably do that because SenseLabs is not very widespread as a brand, right? And I don't see many people having them. Whereas obviously I see a lot of people having an XP Pen. So I don't know if they want to be a mass adoption. I think they're targeting a very specific crowd. Maybe in the future that'll change. The issue with SenseLabs is their hardware isn't any better than XP Pen. It's just their customer support. I actually talked to the director of product for SenseLabs, and he'll say this to anybody, so it's not like a secret conversation. But he just said, our philosophy. I'm trying to paraphrase what he said. Our philosophy is that the technology is already as good as it needs to be. Now, you in chat may disagree with that. I can see the truth of it, right? In some cases, I do actually agree with it. But that's his point. Like, that's not where things need to be improved for artists. And so their strategy involves, again, focusing on professional market, design studios, etc. Enterprise-grade customer support, and making sure they work on Linux. That's a big thing for them. They're very focused on that. And then what's the other thing he mentioned? Oh, yeah. Another thing he said is, and this guy used to work at Wacom too. He said that one of the things they notice people struggle with is they get their tablet, their pen display or whatever, and they don't have the cables they need, either because of power cables or connecting. So that's a big thing for them. They want to ship with everything you need. And that's true. Their SenseLabs tablets just come with a lot of stuff with them. Another thing SenseLabs innovated, they were the first company to ship 2 pens. Okay? So that was great. The normal pen and then a slim pen. So that, nothing I named was innovation in terms of a technical sense. They're trying to innovate as a product sense, if that makes sense. They're trying to innovate in the terms of what is the product, not necessarily the digitizer. Okay? So to Hanem's point, one of the challenges I've noticed is, let's just take the XP Pen Deco Pro Gen 2, which I love that tablet. It has really good styling. The performance is just the same as the SenseLabs. And the pen is actually not quite as good, to be honest. The SenseLabs pen is more consistent, at least the V2 pens. But really, if you looked at the tablet side by side, you'd be convinced the XP Pen Deco Pro Gen 2 is the more professional tablet because the design is so good, right? Yeah, and Dermond, I wish they had a large size tablet too. Let's see, Hera. Apparently, Wacom Instant Pen Display is just easy canvas, but improved. When you say that, Hera, are you saying it's literally the same code, or it's derived from that code, or that it's licensed from Easy Canvas? I'd love to understand that a little bit better. 7. Do you think SenseLabs marketed themselves in a bit misleading way initially? Can you tell me what you noticed when they initially marketed themselves? I'm not sure if I formulated any opinion about the nature of their marketing, so I'm curious what maybe you noticed and what maybe you found misleading. Right? Okay. Some of you noticed, let me move this window out of the way. Some of you noticed something. Actually, let me just close this window. It's better. Look what I installed. Affinity. Okay. Let me just go ahead and show you the real deal. So, Affinity today, if you go to their site, so Affinity there's a couple of changes here. Let's just make sure we understand. Affinity had 3 apps: Affinity Photo, Affinity Design, and Affinity something else. Okay, so one was like Photoshop, one was like Illustrator, and one was like InDesign. So today, what they announced is, besides a new logo, which I'm not sure if I like this A, by the way. It's a little too cute, and it looks a little too 70s, for my tastes. So they're bought by Canva. We were all afraid they're going to have a subscription. So today they announced 2 major things. Number one, the 3 apps have become one. Like there's one app called Affinity that does everything the other 3 apps. So that's fine. That's cool. And then it's free. So how do you get it? You click here, Get Affinity, and it is free. Now, in order to get it, you have to sign up. Sign up means you log in, and I logged in previously. We can use an email, but I use my Google. I logged in with Google. That's it. You don't have to give them your name. You don't have to, put your credit card. You just log in, okay? Once you do that, you can just get a download for Mac OS and Windows, okay? And there's different Windows. This is really, I would just pick MSIX x64 or MSIX ARM64, okay? Depending on which processor you have. And for Mac OS, they just have one down. I downloading it again, okay? The download it's almost a gigabyte, okay? You're using it right now, Dermon? And let's see, Harris saying, they found files in Instant Pen Display software that had easy... Oh, really? Interesting. The Instant Pen Display program have files, Easy Canvas DLL files, which means the core functionality uses eCanvas. Oh, I see. They took the Easy Canvas code, they probably licensed it, and now Wacom has added their own. Interesting. That might explain why Wacom, they treat it as like a benefit to have. Like, it's I forgot the word they used. An entitlement or something? I think the most misleading marketing is done by sponsored reviews of SenseLabs to tons. Oh yeah, they did. Interestingly, many of which did not even know that SenseLabs was affiliated with UGX. Yeah. I saw a lot of that, and how can I say? Look, some of those were just, and you saw it, Cubit. They were breathlessly talking about how good the tablet was, and they certainly didn't test it in the same way that I think we're used to people testing tablets now. Okay. Yeah, and some of the people are like, oh, this is the best tablet ever. Like, how could you say that? You just tried it for a week or 2, right? You got to use a tablet for a while, right? So yeah, a lot of those initial reviews were sponsored and just not contributing a lot of value. That's fair. That's absolutely accurate. Illustrator, Photoshop, and then one app. What's the genius at? Yeah, why not add Tetris? Let's see. Oh, Edinburgh. They made a big deal of being an American company. When we understood they're just designing accessories for UG tablets, it felt a bit... Well, okay, let's talk about them being an American company. So, their headquarters are in Vancouver, Washington. So that's about 3 hours south of me. And they also stress that their support is North American, which is, of course, going to be more expensive. But they felt that it would be better for the customers to have North American support. Wacom killer, yeah. There ain't no Wacom killers yet. Probably the tablet company that comes closest right now is Huion with their Pentec 4.0. I think XP Pen will get there too, but no one's killed them yet. But Wacom has got to watch out because, again, these consumer tablets are not. Okay, let's try it out. Okay. So let me close it. We'll restart it just so you see the full experience, okay? Let me close this window or move it away or something. Everything is a Wacom killer. There's a graveyard of Wacom killers, filled with Wacom killers. That analogy, graveyard, is when I worked in Microsoft Office, if you talked at least the office guys I ran around with at work, we would always just like be talking about stuff. And the prevailing joke was this: because you'd see some companies say, "Oh, we're gonna build the thing that's gonna kill Microsoft Office," right? And we loved it, and we absolutely loved hearing a company say that. We're like, and you know what? And we literally would be like, we'd like kind of point as if that was a graveyard, and we go, "There's a graveyard filled with Office killers." So you just keep right on thinking that, right? It's so hard to displace, and probably the situation is a bit more displaceable. Wacom is more displaceable, but yeah, it's hard to become a killer like that. Yeah, no one is a Wacom killer till this day. That's absolutely right, Juggy. Since when Chinese companies with office in USA become... Well, that's a good question. At this rate, the only Wacom killer would be Wacom themselves. Yeah, they could do that. They could do that. Remember, Xerox, right? Xerox was like the top thing in the industry. They made copiers. Even when we say Xerox something, we mean to copy something. Who even remembers Xerox now? Have you seen someone talk about the word Xerox ever in your life? Wacom killers since 2016. Yes, Zervon, they are. Hera says Wacom had a crazy comeback with the movie. That is true. That is true. I would put in also the Cintiqs into that list. I find the term Wacom killer hilarious. Wacom invented all that technology, and everyone's just hey, it's true. I don't think I think properly speaking, they didn't invent EMR, but they applied it to Wacom. There was actually NHK is like a Japanese TV channel, right? NHK had a video talking about the origin of Wacom, okay? And they pulled the video. I mean, some of us downloaded the video, which I cannot share. But it was a really good video, and I'll try to find it again. Maybe someone has it online. But it's worth watching because you realize how long they've been in the game, okay? And you learn some fascinating things, which is like, I'm not making this up, like, it started with the idea of a typewriter, okay? I'm not joking, an actual typewriter. And the technology of that typewriter used what we would call today EMR. And that eventually got into tablets as we know them, okay? Well, I think it's good engineering. Wacom is immortal. WordStar. Yeah. Claris Works. Yes. I tried using one of those word competitors. Like, they never live up. Wacom has a lot of patents and intellectual property. Nick, they do, but every core patent has expired. It's been expired since I think around. It's a rough date. Let's say 2011. That's why right after that you saw Huion and XP Pen. Suddenly you saw them introduce batteryless pens because the patent for the EMR getting power from the digitizer expired. So that's why you saw that happen. You've never even heard of Xerox. Okay. There's all sorts of companies like this. Like, people don't realize that, they used to be the biggest thing ever, but now they're just gone, right? So Xerox was a company that made... Okay, here. I'm going to show you a Wikipedia page. So it'll make more sense. Okay. So they invented a process of copying called xerography, which means like dry writing. Okay? Because they had this toner. It wasn't wet. Okay? So that's where... And so the company was called Xerox. So everyone for a long time, instead of saying, oh, I'm going to copy this, like photocopy, they said, oh, can you Xerox this? I'm going to Xerox this. A Kleenex is like everyone says Kleenex, but that's a brand name, not, they don't, instead of just saying tissue, they say the brand name. So Xerox, I know it sounds stupid that I say copiers, but here's the good thing. Xerox had this thing. Okay, let me just, let's go to, Uh, it's called Park. So I'm not sure if it's a company exactly, but this is what it's called, Xerox PARC, okay? So Xerox PARC is like, they invented so much fundamental technology, right? Let's look at what they invented, and then you'll be surprised why you never hear the word. Okay. They were foundational to laser printing, Ethernet, GUIs, graphic user interface, desktop metaphor, object-oriented programming, electronic paper, mouse, right? Mice. So look, all this stuff happened at Xerox PARC. I actually was at Xerox PARC one time. I visited there in the 90s. Now, no one cared. No one even knows Xerox was in the mix, right? Completely. They wasted their lead. And they were doing this stuff in the 70s, okay? Wacom is the Bowser that falls into lava and becomes the boss fight again 5 minutes later. I miss Compaq just because of my first PC, and it was already old when I got it. Yeah, that's an old brand. Wacom also has an amazing artistic pedigree. Mobius, oh, I know who you're talking about. Love their tablets. The closest thing to MS Office killer has been Google's Office stuff for sure. Yes, since MS was late getting on the web, but I don't think it ever got booted out entirely. No, yeah, you're right. Actually, so let me just explain this. This is a little bit of 7 lore. So you've all heard of Microsoft Office, right? Well, back in the year 2000, Microsoft wanted, there was a division of Microsoft called NetDocs, NetDocs, NetDocs. The concept of NetDocs was Office in a browser. Browser tech was really primitive back then, so I worked on it. I worked on telephony in that time. And what happens is, even within Microsoft, there are teams trying to kill Microsoft Office. Remember I said the graveyard analogy? There were projects inside Microsoft to kill Office, right? So I was part of the NetDocs team, and the Microsoft Office team, I mean, it's complicated getting into the politics, so to speak, but they were, they eventually just acquired us internally, right? So, and I think they weren't moving toward browser-based Office for a long time. Then when Google made their thing, I think the fire got lit under them, and then our Office online is like much better now. It's really good. There are many times I've been using Office on the web and forgot I was using the web version. I just thought I was using normal Office. But I find Google Office to be, or Google Docs, whatever they call it, I find it to be a little primitive, to be honest. Maybe you two are thinking about Gateway computers, because Gateway computers had cows. In fact, I can find and they were, Compaq and Gateway were in the same mix. So let's see, Gateway computer ad. Actually, another funny story. Okay, so Gateway had cows, right, and their boxes were spotted. Like this is actually, I actually had some. This is the Gateway computer box. They actually had cow spots. Okay, it was really cute. It was really cute. So maybe you're thinking about this when you think about Compaq, and we'll actually type in Compaq and see if there's any link. Compaq. The Gateway, Compaq and Gateway. Did somebody buy? Let's see. They may have bought. Okay, I see. There was a failed merger between Compaq and Gateway. Okay, I thought one bought the other one. Not knowing Xerox is an age check. That is correct. I remember using I've tried OpenOffice a couple of times, so I've never stuck with it. Okay, now you remember Xerox, because yeah. Or LibreOffice, that's the one I use, not OpenOffice. Those are different things, right? Do you think it's worth buying a moving pad or Magic Pad? I would not buy the Magic Drawing Pad, the XP Pen one, honestly. Yeah, for the exact reason you say. I feel like it's going to become obsolete quickly. I think the moving pad is a better choice, and it'll become less obsolete because Wacom doesn't introduce new models very quickly. But to play it safe, you should just give it some time, right? But I have no hesitation in recommending the moving pad. Pluzzing has never heard of Xerox. Yes, exactly right. It is absolutely about printing. Horizon Team Moving Pad. Xerox is not dead, surprise. They are still making pretty good professional equipment like digital printing machines. I was working on them, those fancy... Oh, wow. I didn't know they were in... So they're more for like really big thing. Okay, interesting. $50,000 printer. You know, I'd love to show you NetDocs, but NetDocs was online only because it was a browser thing. So we had servers. And of course, you can't show... The servers aren't around anymore, so I can't show it to you. Right? It was Gateway. Yes, okay. We got it. Hey, Create Now, Sleep Later. Good to see you too, my friend. Thanks for joining us. We've been talking about tablets, and we're going to go look through Affinity. Yeah, Xerox did have a nice smell. Actually, some of you are, I'm old enough, before you had those kind of copiers, in school, we had these kind of copies that were like wet. I mean, literally wet. There was some kind of chemical solution, and so they would run these printouts, and they'd be slightly wet and chemical smelling for a while. But that was in the 80s. That's right, Xerox paper. I could totally believe that. Apache OpenOffice died, and from that code, LibreOffice took off. Oh, got it. Okay, let's look. We want to go back to Affinity, okay? Because we got onto Xerox. Where the hell is Affinity? Okay, I'm going to just launch it again. Affinity, open it up. Okay. It opened up on a different window. So this is what opened up first, right? So there's some stuff here. Nothing too surprising. A typical splash screen. Now, here's where I was stunned. Or not stunned. I was just like, huh? What? What's going on? Let's create a new document. And I'll just pick a... I don't use portrait. I want a landscape doc. Let's pick this. And let's pick ANSI B Ledger. I feel like I'm the youngest lad in here not knowing all these things. Well, it is pretty old stuff, to be fair. Oh, by the way, I'll give you a couple of facts, which is, lots of people can tell you this, my age, but this will stun a lot of you. Okay, number one, when I came to the United States in 1974, people were, not everybody, but a lot of people still had black and white television. Okay? Broadcasts were in color, but people have, lots of people have black and white television, right? And they were considered old then, but number two, for a long time, basically there were only 3 channels, like ABC, CBS, and NBC. And how can I say it? So, there's like, to switch channels on a TV, which were big, there's a dial, it had clicks on it. It had like 13 clicks. So by definition, you had 13 channels at most. Channels 1 and 2 were never used. 3 was, it started at 3 really. Oh, here's another thing. You'll never know this because no one talks about it. So I want you to imagine you're watching TV, okay? Or YouTube, doesn't matter. And I want you to imagine, this is the nature of reality. At midnight, a voice comes on and says, "That concludes today's programming. And we'll see you tomorrow morning." And then you see a test pattern. I'll show you a test pattern. And maybe music, or you hear the national anthem plays. The Star Spangled Banner will play. And then you'll see static until 7 a.m. the next morning. Nothing is on. That was what it was like in the 80s. Okay? And Nick, the thing I'm talking about is different. I'm not talking about toner powder. In fact, I'll try to find the link. It was wet. I'll find it. I'll find it because it sounds so insane what I'm talking about. Wet copier in schools, because that's the memory I have of it. What was it called? Yeah, the Ditto machines. Ditto machines. That's what they were called. So this is called a spirit. That sounds crazy. Spirit duplicators. Yes, in purple blue ink that felt damp and smelled of solvent like methanol and isopropanol, right? This is how we got, this is what existed before photocopiers, right? Look at this. Creating a unique and memorable sensory experience. Who would often smell the fresh, yeah, we did that all the time. Whenever we got them, we would sniff the paper because it had this aroma. I can't remember if it was good or bad, but it was interesting to smell. Right? Yeah. And the Ditto machine. I forgot the name of it. The ink transfer process left the copy slightly damp. So there was no toner in the way you think about it. Right? Not like today. At least I don't think they called them toner. I never heard that. Let's see. Cammy, you remember that? Okay. Your 80s is my 90s. I'm from a third world. Okay, I understand. Okay, let's go back. We're doing everything but talk about affinity. Okay, so first thing you notice, there's that big A there, which I don't like it. I know. I hate to be picky about anyone's graphic design or typography or whatever, but like I just don't like it. It's too cute. It's just too cute. Does that make sense? Okay, sorry, you're not seeing what I'm saying. There we go. So I launched Canvas, Affinity, and this is what you see. I create a new doc, and you get these things up here. Okay, so there's like different. So I've used it a little bit before today's stream, so I'll just tell you what you're seeing. You create a doc, and you can make it be anything. Okay, so in this case, I don't know why it started as vector. Okay, so let's just draw something real quick. Yeah, here. Let's just put a star or something. Okay, so it's a vector shape. Okay, now what if you want to do some photoshopping? Okay, you go to Pixel. Notice nothing changed. Okay, but did you notice the tools changed? Okay. And let's go find a brush. I think, is this a brush? No, I want a brush I can paint with. This brush. So I'm not sure. I'm trying to paint. I'm not sure if I'm painting with, there we go. Okay. I know it's not pretty, but that's a bitmap. That's not vector anymore. Okay. And I should be able to do some things to it. Let's see if we can. Blur, yeah, let's blur it out if we can. I don't know if it's blurring enough though. Let's see if I can make a bigger brush. It is blurry, but you haven't, can you see it? So it's obviously a bitmap effect. It's not blurring a lot, right? But you get the idea, right? So you can switch back and forth. You're not limited, right? This just switches different tools, okay? So that's interesting. But we could probably understand this. Then there's layout. This corresponds to InDesign. So when you get to layout, now it tells you about pages, right? Let's see, Dermon. I wasn't alive back then, but from videotapes from them, it seems like, yeah, probably they grab an old TV when they move in the first time. This kind of feels like Krita. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Yes, you're right. It does give me a Krita feel. Very much so, now that you say it. So this is interesting because you can now create a new page. Okay, and you can't, where's the dialogue? The dialogue, where the heck is the dialogue? I can't, oh, here it is, okay. So, I'm gonna go ahead and create a page. So you get a new page, okay? And you can, of course, edit the page. I don't know, they call it a spread for some reason. I don't know why. Let's change it to be smaller, like 11 by 11 inches, right? Let's just see what happens. 11 by, let's say, 7. Okay, yeah, it's smaller. Actually, I'm going to unlink these to make them a clearly different size. 5. Okay. So you see this page has a different size and a different aspect ratio than this, okay? So that's actually quite interesting. You can build a booklet up, I guess, if you want to call it that, of different things here, right? And I do like the switching thing. So I like their approach because people who are doing, I'm not saying this is good for drawing, by the way. I'll get a tablet, we'll try out some features. I want to see what the vector strokes actually work like. But I know in Clip Studio Paint, you have to get Clip Studio EX to get pages. But here you actually just get pages. So this could be useful for people doing kind of more things that are more like a book, like manga, I guess, or comics. You don't think it's like Krita? I mean, the side panel, I don't know. In my mind, it looks very similar, but maybe I don't use Krita that often myself. Okay, let me get another tablet because I want to start drawing on this. So let's just see what the strokes are like. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and let me just plug in a tablet here, and we will try to do a little drawing. If I can plug this port in. Okay. I got the Intuos Pro Large 2025 model. Yeah, definitely pleasant. Try it out. I'm really curious. Charlie Martian's back. How to rotate the canvas. I'll check it out. You want to let me do one thing first, and then I'll check it out. Okay, the mouse is not mapped correctly. Sorry, the tablet. Let me fix that. I want to select one display, center display, apply, and force proportions on, so that's good. Okay, so we're there. I'm gonna go to the first page, and I'm just gonna see what the strokes are like first. I want vector. Yeah, okay. This switching is interesting, actually, because like the tools, see how much they change? The overall layout's consistent, but the tooling's, it can be a little jarring. Not a complaint, it's just, you know, you gotta get used to it. Let me just try a vector stroke. Oh, I don't want this. That's just normal pen tool. I want to paint a stroke. You know how like Clip Studio can do it, right? Do they even support that? They don't. I want a pressure sensitive vector stroke is what I'm trying to get at. Let's see if I can. I mean, it's drawing a vector stroke, but I want pressure to be applied. Let's see if this style, properties, pressure. It does have a curve. So what the hell is it doing? Okay. Notice it's, listen, look at this curve. It's already set this way. Okay, now let's try it. That's not doing anything. Pressing hard, soft, not making any. I'm gonna hit delete to delete some of these. To have Affinity and Toolbox work on it. Yes, I want that too, Kami Luna. That's the one limitation that I'm struggling with the Moving Pad Pro and the Moving Pad, is I don't have My favorite, my beloved toolbox. Path brush tool. Okay, maybe this is going to do what it did. I was painting with white. Okay. Let's take a look here. Are there any options here? Pressure. Controller is pressure. Okay, here we go. I had to change this this gear thing to pressure. Okay. So yeah, it does have pressure sensitive strokes. That explains a few things. Let me make a bigger stroke here. Let me delete some of these strokes too. I'm gonna hit control. I'm trying to select everything. I don't know if that did it. Let me just select it like this, because these are vector strokes after all. Okay. Go back here. I was on Path Brush Tool. So that is a vector stroke. Okay. This is interesting. I could, in theory, use this, because I use Clip Studio Paint. Okay, so this is good. Let's see now. Let me delete some of these layers. I'm surprised there aren't more toolbox copies. Yeah, I wish there were, Hera. I wish there were. Because it is too expensive. So far, I can't understand why combining 3 apps into one, switching workspace with buttons on top. I don't know. Nick, I guess it's a bit mysterious to me too, but I presume that there may be some scenarios that are easier. So this is another piece of 7 lore for a second. I worked in an application called Microsoft PhotoDraw. Let me repeat that again. Microsoft PhotoDraw, okay? Yes, Microsoft made a paint program, okay? And just so people believe me, I'll just show it to you. Let's see. It's called PhotoDraw 2000, by the way. I worked on V2, so I'm going to show you that one. Okay. So one day I'll do a demo of PhotoDraw if I can, actually. I'll create a VM. Let me find an image of this thing. So yeah, Microsoft made this application called Microsoft PhotoDraw. This is the actual box, okay? And I worked on this app. I actually built several features as a PM in this app. So the reason I bring that up is our vision for PhotoDraw was that there was no distinction between pixels and vectors. Now, one can question the architecture and technology and approach we used, but there's always been this idea that they could all live in the same place, right? And so that's why I'm fascinated by this. And it's not easy to bring them all in the same place. Now, they use different UI modes to handle both. Yeah, and Charlie, that's what I'm looking for right now, is a vector eraser. So let's just erase something, or let's draw some stuff. By the way, I do like the stroke. It's actually, they're doing a little bit of post-correction, which I'll have to figure out how I can control that. I guess if I click on stabilizer, maybe, or more. I don't know. Okay, let's close this. Okay, and is pressure? Yeah, pressure's there. Let me Control Z. Okay, I want an eraser now. What will this do? Oh, that will cut the line. That was interesting. I think it did that. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I guess I've never really used that in Clip Studio, if they have it. But I guess it's kind of cool to use this knife tool to cut through. And it segments. So that's cool. That is cool. Doesn't help me with the thing I'm looking for, but it is cool. It did some weird thing. Did you see what it did? It kind of created some weird line endings. I'm not sure if I liked its approach. I think having 3 apps in one is nice since you don't need to switch between programs for different functions. Yeah, Hera, I think that's a very valid point. And I hate having to export import into apps, right? It is better if you can just have it work together. Create now, sleep later. Oh, you remembered. Okay. Okay, so it was considered an Office product, but it was bundled with Microsoft Front Page, right? You could buy it standalone, but it was never, like if you bought just normal Microsoft Office, you didn't get it. If you bought Office, like, I don't know, some edition, I think you could also, like, I don't know, Office Enterprise or something, you could also get PhotoDraw, but it was never like in the box with the normal Office apps. Charlie says, I often go between CorelDRAW, Photoshop, Clipshow, Paint. I would like the idea. Yeah. Now let's find an eraser. And if we don't find the eraser, we're going to tell them they should add the eraser. Okay. So is there an eraser? I don't see anything like an eraser. This is a what tool? Contour, corner, node, artboard. Yeah, there's no eraser here. Not the way you and I think about it, which is we should front page. Front page was a real piece of work. I love front page. Okay, so this is so we're just really dropping a lot of lore here. So front page. God, this is okay. We're gonna back up here. Front page was like an HTML editor, okay? And it had these templates for sites, like a way sites looked, and you could always tell if a front page site. And let's see if we can find one. You can instantaneously tell Microsoft Front Page was used. Say example of front page website. This is website. The problem is it's hard to explain what it is I'm asking for. Yeah, a front page design website, just very obvious Microsoft was involved. Okay, then you have to understand, PhotoDraw, we had this thing about like, because we have so much clip art and we could like add funny lines and things, we always had this vision of, I didn't like it, but they said this, designer in a box. You don't need to hire a designer. The software will just do it for you. Now, that's of course what people are doing with this AI stuff. Right? Yeah, front page and Dreamweaver. I forgot what Dreamweaver. Right? Look, they do have a knife. I did find a knife, Charlie. But the knife I found was not configurable. Let me get there. Here's the knife tool, right? But there's no, I didn't see any, oh, there's modes here. Let's try this. I don't know what the fuck. Is there a difference? Nope, that didn't change. Let's turn this back on. Stabilizer. Are there other options here? Yeah, not. I don't even know what that means. Window mode. Input position to range over fix. I don't even know what that means. What's this? Yeah, it's not erasing the way I think you and I would like. So it needs that. We should put in a feature request. Well, let's see what happens. That's a good, okay, let's see what happens if I do the pixel persona. And I'll go to the eraser here. That's an interesting idea. Okay, what will happen? Oh. What the? The assistant added a new mask layer inside the layer you previously had selected. You're now erasing from that new layer. I'm erasing inside the mask layer. Okay, so this is not, it does not have the effect that we are thinking it would have. Unfortunately. This is too complicated, Charlie. You're right. Let's see. Nick says, you create raster element in PS, place it as a ref in Illustrator, and jump in and out for edits. Does that work? I mean, do you find that to be... I forgot that it had that feature. I don't think I've ever used it. Do you find that very quick to switch? So far, I'm not really... Okay, that did something, but it did something on that mask, I think. Did you see it? Something got erased. What about this? There's a paint bucket tool? I don't even know what that would do here. Okay, this is not really... And this is, okay, so let me back up. This is the problem, actually. If you just take this approach, putting pixels and vectors, the tools get confusing because they don't work always, right? So that can be very confusing to people. That is the hard part about putting pixels and vectors together. PhotoDraw had a different approach. In our world, we would do all sorts of things, which I can't remember fully now, so that even if you had vector shapes, they would behave like they were pixel shapes, right? Yeah, vector eraser is such a huge productivity winner. It's just huge. And they need that. Oh, I didn't click on this. I just wanted to click on this Canva AI. So if you click on this, nothing really happens. But I don't even know what it does, honestly. I guess, let's just try it out. Type a prompt. Okay. Create, add Peepo the frog on a bicycle. Let's just see what happens. Generate. Okay. When I click generate, this came up. Upgrade your Canva plan to unlock AI tools in Affinity. So this upgrade, if you sign up for that, that's the thing that costs money. Just using this does not cost any money, right? So I think it's going to take time to invest. Let me try to find a photo on the web, okay? Now let's take this image and put it in here. We'll go to Pixel. I'm going to erase everything real quick. And I'm going to paste this image, okay, which is not very big. Or sorry, it's big, but it pasted really small. Okay, what can we do with it? Pluzzing says, I use my brother's Canvas account since he has an education plan. Okay, that's a nice little, what do you call this, color histogram, I guess. Interesting. Let's do some stuff now. Let's do some effects here. Can I add a layer, an adjustment layer? New. Oh, I can't create a layer here. Okay, but I guess I can add it here. Layer effects. I want an adjustment layer. I don't necessarily want this. Mask, filters, adjustments. There we go. Let's do a levels. Okay, so it adds a new layer. I like this colorful histogram here. We can choose between gray or RGB, so we can change how this thing looks. Or CMYK or lab. Not really sure what's happening when I do that, but we'll see. But you probably won't use the AI stuff. My followers crucify me, Cami Luna says, if I touched anything AI. Okay, let me click back on here. Where is it? Okay, I click on that. Let's edit it. Okay, I'm not digging it. I am worried that it'll be feeling heavyweight if I just want to edit a photo. But it is working more or less the way I expect, right? And then to add a vector, let's say I want to label this. I want to add some text. What happens? I think that's a text tool, and I'll just say, okay, I drag there, and I'll just say, I'll just type in the name of the Cintiq. No, that's Intuos. What am I saying? Intuos with an I, capital I, Intuos Pro. Okay. So far, it's not surprising me. I would like more, as Charlie mentioned, that I do want a vector eraser. Okay. Well, Gen AI it's a good point. Gen AI has got its own ethical concerns, but I think, look, I've said this to you all many times. I use AI all the time, but I use it for coding, and I use it for research, like Notebook LM, for comparing things. I use it to, when I publish a YouTube video, I actually ask Google's AI to create the, what do you call it? The table of contents in my videos. Oh, by the way, I just want to make sure everyone knows I do have a new video out, which is about connecting a pen display with USB-C. You might want to check that out. Can I do a shadow on this layer? Like, how do I get a drop shadow here? I can't do it up here. Not that I can see. Nope. I guess I would create a effect layer called outer shadow. A radius of, I don't know, this, offset like this. Intensity, I want lots of intensity. Close. Okay. Where did that go though? Let me get rid of this levels adjustment. What happened to the generate button? Oh, I did something wrong here. Hang on. Where's the shadow? I'm not seeing the shadow. Oh, there is a shadow there actually. It's just barely visible. Let's go edit it. Click on the FX. I want a bigger, oh, there we go. I got my soft shadow. Okay, I mean, oh, I see. I want the offset a bit more. And that should work. Let me put this underneath it. It should work correctly. There we go. Yeah, I'm not trying to make a beautiful shadow. I just want to see how it would work. Yeah, eventually, that's exactly what I ended up doing. Wacom, Seven is doing free marketing for Wacom. Yeah. I mean, I'm doing, what is it? I'm inhaling the Wacopium. Is this the official ad for a 2S Pro? I guess it must be. I do like the Intuos Pro. Okay, this is working out okay. I think I see a few rendering errors, and when I'm using it, like when I drag the, let me zoom out. When I moved this, see that it disappeared, and I don't know why it did that. Now, what's interesting here? Did you see that? I think I know now. Let me move it sideways. Okay, so okay, that makes sense. When I moved it like this, see what happens. So look at the page below. Okay, now if I move it a little bit more, this is weird. Now it snaps into this page, right? I don't know how to think about that. It's a little unexpected that it does that, but it also makes sense that moving it here will do this. I didn't expect it. Every time I tried to verify my account, the generation didn't work. Okay, so I would say people should explore this app. I mean, it's free. Is it gonna replace my use of Clip? Nope. Okay, so we were talking about AI. There's another way in which I use AI, which is when I take photos of tablets, they're on a desk, which is, it's a decent surface area, but the desk is only so big, and the background I use is only so big. So sometimes you'll see there'll be like a mouse on the desk or some other piece of equipment. And I use AI to remove those objects, so it's it's just a clean sheet, right? What if you hit Shift or Control while erasing, you mean? Let me move this back up here. So yeah, I think there are uses of AI which make sense. And to be honest, I think over time we'll probably all become adjusted to it. I was checking out YouTube, as I guess everyone does these days. And I noticed that I like cover music, covers of known songs. There's a ton of AI covers now. And you know what the sad part is? They're pretty good. They're actually like, first of all, I would never guess AI had created them. because it sounded so good. Like take a song and reinterpret it as like heavy metal, right? Or backwards. Nick says, in vector editors, every page is a different logical artboard, so transferring items between pages, you usually have to use cut and paste. Yeah, that's what I'd expect. Like, this makes sense to me. Just surprising, right? Oh, what if you press Shift to control what? Oh, let's try it. Shift. So let me zoom out so you see everything. So I'll press Shift and try it. Same thing. But this is interesting. When I press Shift, this is nice. It actually constrains the movement. See, if I don't hold on Shift, I can accidentally move it up or down. But if I hold Shift, it draws this little yellow line. So it'll keep me on that line, or I can make it go 45 degrees or up. You know, that's nice. That's a nice quality of life feature. I like that, and I like there's a visual indication of it too. That just tells you, hey, you were really moving in a very linear way. And you say Shift or Control. We'll try Control too. Or whatever it is on the Mac. Oh, that duplicated it. On this keyboard, I guess it's Command. I'm using a Windows keyboard on a Mac. It actually says Alt, but I think it's the Command key for Macs. Okay, so I think this is good. I mean, I'm happy for this. I'm happy there's not a subscription. It does need some features, though. It will not replace Clip Studio Paint for me. It will probably replace my need for Illustrator. I don't use Illustrator very often. Mono. I think it works fine on ARM. I'll double check tonight, okay? But I'm pretty sure it does. I think I tried it actually, but I'll double check tonight, okay? And I'll update my page. Let me just link the page just in case you don't have it with you. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, Hero? Let's see, ARM, Windows ARM. So for everyone who doesn't know, I left SenseLab supports ARM, Wacom supports ARM. Huion, I have to double check. So I will update this page. I'm going to paste a link to this page in the chat so that Mono can find it later. So expect an update tonight or tomorrow morning, okay? No subscriptions yet. Okay, here's the theory. Canva wants Adobe's business, right? No one wants, let's be honest. No one wants to pay a subscription for software. It's totally reasonable. Point number 3, software is extremely expensive to create, okay? Let me just break it down to you. Like basically in Microsoft, the average person who's not making $1 million a year, by the way, it basically costs us, when you put it all together, not only their salary and bonuses but health insurance and all that stuff, every employee costs like $500,000. Okay? That's every year. Okay? So, and I think that's the right number. So if you have $2 million, you can have 4 employees for a year. It's very expensive stuff. So I think my point about the subscription being, I feel like it is, yes, I have a fear that they will add subscription in the future. But I think we'll be accustomed to subscribing for AI, okay? I don't think people have a problem paying for value that's being delivered, especially when it consumes resources. So maybe I'm hopeful they'll stick with this model long term. Okay. Oh, hey Nem. That's a dad level joke. I like it. So much support for ARM, but no one cares about leg. Nice work. If you need to work with multiple pages, graphics, it might take. Yeah, CorelDRAW. I actually have the 2024 edition of CorelDRAW. I bought it on sale, a humble bundle, so I should try that out. For Intuos Pro, so some people, the latest drivers are having some problems. That is true. In fact, Wacom, actually, let me just go to the page. Let's see if we can find it. They actually talk about it on their... I haven't had problems, but some people have. That is true. We'll show you, we'll show everyone what we're talking about here. So if you go to drivers, we'll go see the Mac one. And notice it has Mac OS Important Setup Guide. So there's a bunch of things going on here, right? And they have different guides. So previously I thought there were actually issues, but they don't, let's see. They don't have it. This OS, what is the current version? Tahoe. I thought they had a message about Tahoe somewhere. Let's click the release notes if we can. See if there's any message about this. Known issues. Yeah, but some people are having problems. I am not. Right, the only subscription they mentioned is Canva one. So I think they want to displace Adobe so bad that they will keep it free for a long time. Because that's the only way you're going to displace Adobe. Okay? That's the only place. And like Canva's growing, right? I haven't used it, actually, Canva, but I'll try. See, Pleasing, I like CorelDRAW. Yes, I do hope they fix it, Striding Jack. Charlie Martian likes CorelDRAW. CorelDRAW is polarizing. People love it or hate it. So CorelDRAW was my first CorelDRAW was my first vector app. And so I have a lot of affinity for it. From CorelDRAW, I ended up using a program called Xara. And then I think Corel bought Xara, Xara, and eventually. And I haven't used CorelDRAW in a long time, but like I said, I got the Humble Bundle package for CorelDRAW, which is super cheap, and I'll give it a try. Would you do a line drawing in CSP using your Intuos sometime? I want to see how easy, hard it is to... Yeah, sure. I don't have it all set up on this machine, but soon I will do that, Charlie. Canva Pro is probably the main selling point, Pleasing says. I think I played around with the trial of Canva, and let me just go there. Actually, sorry, I'm clicking on the app. I meant to go to a web page. Let's get there. Canva. I just don't know what to do with Canva, honestly. Like, I don't need to create these little things. I can understand people do, but like, I just don't know what I need this stuff for. Having said that, I think for things like, let me click on video and type YouTube for a second. Let me spell YouTube correctly. YouTube banner. So my banner on my channel is pretty lame. And I've been thinking, can this help me just make a banner quickly? Like, just accelerate the time to make a better banner. Let's click on one of this. So even trying to use this, you have to sign up for Canva Pro. Oh, how much does it cost? Canva, let me just type that in. Canva Pro costs. So I'm just not thrilled with all these like templates. So $13 to $15 per month or $120 a year. The exact price can vary. I just don't see myself needing this much stuff, right? And it's not like you can just design anything in it, right? I don't know, maybe I'm misreading this app. I just think it's all about templates of stuff, right? And do I need any of this stuff? A brand kit. I don't think I need any of this stuff. I don't mean to just, insult it or anything. I don't know what I would use it for. But maybe I'll watch the keynote and I'll figure it out. Yeah, Pleasant, that surprised me that these are all, many of these features are pro features. Like, I guess you can do a trial. Is this AI for stealing designs? Maybe. Oh, that's right, Charlie. Use CorelDRAW. You know, Charlie, what you should do is you should do a live stream and we'd all watch. Seriously, consider that. Because CorelDRAW is, I know you don't necessarily want to be a streamer, but it'd be really nice, right? Or at least do it on the Discord. Because I would love to, but will you do it, Charlie? Will you either stream or do it on the Discord? Because I really would love to learn about it again. Because I used it very heavily 30 years ago and then just completely stopped. So my knowledge is very ancient for CorelDRAW. Canva is pretty much deadline is tomorrow and do something quick. Okay, I could see that. Right? And again, this could be useful for me, but not $120 a year useful. Like, I'm not even sure how to use this, really. That's how I used it on university a year ago. Okay. Like, if I wanted a logo... No, I'm too scared. I don't want to try it free for 30 days, because they'll end up... You will? Okay. Let me know how you want to do it. Discord or streaming on YouTube. The benefit of doing on Discord is that our communication is live. The benefit of doing on YouTube is you get an audience, right? But it's going to be like when you say something, I think the audience sees it like a minute later, right? So there's a little bit of a lag in chat and what's actually happening. Or chat is real time, but like if I say something, you won't respond. People won't not respond to it until a minute or two has passed because of the whatever lag there is in YouTube. Yeah, I don't even want to try the trial because I don't want to be accidentally signed up for $120 a year. See, this is why I like things like, God, what was that app called? Okay, Magma, right? Because Magma is completely, like, you can just use it for free. Like, if you want to have if you want to, you can even use it anonymously, though I have my Google account linked to this, right? I believe. Let me log in. Okay, yes, let's discuss tomorrow. Perfect. So I just log in with my Google account. And you can just use this thing, right? Look, there's people. Are there people streaming? Oh, that's right. I forgot. You can draw collaboratively. Yeah, sometimes streaming on Discord actually works pretty well. For this case where you want to like teach somebody, I think it works better than YouTube for sure. Let's see. Dermon says it was weird because teachers didn't like it. When we use it, we didn't like it. Yeah, okay, I understand. Delay between chat and stream can be a few minutes. So when you ask something, it's very hard. Yeah, that's right. I struggle with that. It took me a long time to like understand how delayed it is, and it gets me confused sometimes because I always have to say like, it's just confusing. It's just confusing. Anyway, my point about this Magma thing is you can just use Magma, right? You don't need to sign up for anything. And I just wish more of that was available in... And I'm not trying to compare Canva to this. I'm just saying the model where you can use the app without doing anything, without even signing up for a trial is great. Okay? That's a good thing. Drawpile. I need to try that. And the good thing about Magma is one of the Magma team members, Ryan, is actually on our Discord. He shows up occasionally. So like sometimes he's able to give us a little more insight into what's happening. And sometimes we share feedback with him. Cami, you might do some concept sketching on your Discord. Please do. I created the Discord not a year and a half ago, and I forgot who actually asked me to. I actually thought no one would be on the Discord. I actually thought that most of what I see on tablet stuff is on Reddit, and I thought, okay, someone's asked me for a Discord, sure. I'll create it. I'll check in on it every couple of days to see if anything's going on. It turns out that's where I spend most of my time, and I just hang out there, which I did not expect. Right? It's and the Drawing Tablet Discord's almost like 800 people now, which is a big growth. So we're talking about tablets 24/7. So it was a nice surprise. It was a nice surprise. Yeah, it surprises me that it's grown so much. I still think, we're not huge. I know there are some Discords which are like, 50,000 people or something, but it's cozy and it's a nice environment to chat with you all. I'm still kind of silent on your Discord. I don't know what I want to, just jump in, right? There are down times. We're not always literally chatting and busy, but sometimes it's good to just, talk about whatever. Or share something you found. We have a place to share like art that you like that you found, or share something you drew. Rain says, the Discord's been amazing. I learned a lot of things from the smart people there. There are a lot of very smart people there. I'm not including myself on that. I had questions about, I couldn't find good answers for a long... Yeah. That is absolutely true. There are people like Cube, for example, who's a true tablet expert. I learned so much from that guy. Yeah, Nick, sometimes the chat gets going, right? Very fast. In fact, I sometimes think we need to add a few more channels, because sometimes people are just chatting, and sometimes we're talking about tablets, and sometimes we're talking about... I think one thing is good, because it says it in the server rules, like, we have to be careful. It's easy to get into this topic. We want to talk about digital art or tablets, and there's some off-topic channels like music, where we can share a music video or something. But I'm glad that we're able to separate out things that we really would be bad to talk about. Like, we don't talk about politics, which is good. About the most political we've ever gotten is, there's been a lot of objections to tariffs, which makes sense because they increase the price of the tablets. But yeah, Dermond, you're right. It does feel like a place you can just hang out. And even I don't hang out there every day, right? Hanem says, I occasionally just post what I'm eating for lunch. That's good too, right? I enjoy people posting their lunch. But sometimes I'm not there for a day or so, and I come back in, and yeah, there's so much traffic. So many conversations have happened. Shaggy, that is very true. That is very true. I'm glad you brought that up. I am 100% convinced that if you're interested in drawing tablets specifically, this Discord is one of the only places that you'll find certain information. Absolutely, that's true. And that's also due to the people who just, like Cube is another great example, or Nocti, who's like coding a lot. Just the level of knowledge is pretty deep, and it is not stuff we see out there, right? Cammy Luna says, I was out for most of the summer because of work exhaustion and babysitting my friend's cat. Yeah, that's right. I remember you hadn't been around for a little bit, but it's good to see you when you do show up, Cammy Luna. Lots of yes, there's lots of... Sometimes I feel like we're... what's the word? I was watching a spy movie called Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy. And sometimes I feel like our group acts like a bunch of spies because we're always, sniffing out FCC information about tablets that have not been announced, but we know are being tested. The cat hates it when you're on the internet, Cammy Luna. But yeah, sometimes people will show up and say, Wacom's releasing something. And we find out from the FCC. We've been able to find the Move Ink before it was announced, the Move Ink pad. I think the new Cintiqs as well, right? We found all those out before the public did, just because people are watching. People are watching what Wacom does like a hawk. Another thing is that Tablet Kitten, she's in Australia but has a lot of sort of insight into what's happening in the Chinese market. So she will give us information about things that are happening there early, because the tablets are released earlier in China than they are in, like Huion and XP Pen, I mean, than they are in the United States. Nancy Drew, if she were into tablets, yes. Corpo Spies, that's right. That's exactly right. I'm sure, like, you know I love Wacom. Everyone knows that. But maybe, I hope Wacom doesn't get too mad. Because, okay, here's what happens. Like, we'll see the FCC thing. And sometimes I don't want to ruin the surprise for people, right? 1 week ahead of announcement. That's right. That's right. Sometimes much earlier for some things. And sometimes I struggle with whether I should mention a tablet that we've discovered is gonna come, because we don't know how many months it's gonna be before it arrives, number one. Number two, you know, if you're in marketing for Wacom, you don't want other people to announce your tablets, right? You want to be the one announcing the tablets. A lot of the time I'll hint toward, hey, we believe something's happening. But lately I've just been saying, yep, we know something's coming, right? I mean, the information's public. What am I going to do? And if it's public, then, you know, it's hard for me to... I don't think it's super wrong for me to mention. I'm wondering, is XP Pen and Huion super cheap in home market? I think it is. I think Tablet Kitten has actually mentioned that. I'm not sure the difference in cost, but I think it is definitely cheaper. They get them earlier. Also, what she's told me is that there are tablet models that are released in China that we never see. So, I don't know how extensive that is, but she said it does happen quite a bit. Personally, I think there are too many tablets. There are too many tablets in the market. And so I want to see fewer but better tablets. That's it. Right? And I want to see that... I want to see some real innovation in tablets. And maybe in the next few years, in the next 5 years, we'll see it. Right? Tablet reviews, if they still exist, have to change, because everyone's going to have really low IAF. Right? Yeah, Nick, that surprised me too. I always thought it would be cheaper there, but it's not that case, apparently. In fact, I think sometimes they've been more expensive in Japan than in the United States. Okay, everyone, I think I've been going on now for, 3.5 hours. So I'm going to call it a night for me. I'll be online on the Discord. But yeah, I think we covered what we wanted to cover. And again, I will probably be streaming again tomorrow. Maybe I'll find a topic. And let's see what else is going on. Okay? Everyone, thanks for your time. I really had fun on the stream. And I'll see you all soon. Okay? I'll just hang out for a minute just to see anyone else has a question. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the stream. Okay? Everyone, have a great night.